I think he is our cousin sub today. Homer, how are you?
I'm okay. Oh, you'll do it with Joe Thomas, but not with me.
Well, you're a pro. Yeah, this is what you do.
I'm 70 years old.
All you care about, Homer, is more airtime. You've complained that you only get an hour now, and now you're on here for 3 hours and you're going to fight me?
This is one day.
I know. And it's going to be a beautiful day. I am up in Green Bay.
I told them when I would fill in, I said, I'm not doing the show.
What do you mean?
What about that? Don't you understand?
Well,
I said I'm not leading the show. Tausch is doing the show.
Okay. Well,
I'm just a Tausch.
You know, we'll figure it out. But
if you aren't up to it, then I will fill in for you.
Okay.
Fine.
We'll figure it out. How's that?
There's nothing to figure out. It's not like we have to have a meeting. It can be decided in 2 seconds. Either I'm doing it. Either I'm doing it. No, I don't do meetings. They know that when they ask me to fill in.
Okay, well, you know what? You just do you.
That's
Homer.
fine. I'll do it as a favor to you. So that's fine. I don't know what about Homer said he'll fill in for Jason, but he's not doing the show. They would have said, look it. But anyway, it's over. I'm doing the show. All right. But then they have this list of things. Do I have to go by that list? Look, here's what I want to talk about. This coach, this assistant coach who's now left to go to Jacksonville. And now he's the greatest coach in the world. And yet, explain this to me. I have sold Cooper as being so good. Well, not once in the year did anybody say, Homer, hold on. They said he's young. They not once said, you got to understand who's coaching that position. They got some guy there. Nobody ever mentions it. Now that he's gone, he's done this and this and this. As I heard about various coaches, offensive line coaches, camp, whatever, people covering the team would say, as they did with Andy Reid, nothing, now he's gone, now all of a sudden he's good? Why would no one mention about how much better they were at that position because of the coach if he's that important? Which, of course, I don't believe he is, but...
All right, here's the deal.
Yes.
How many times, and I remember doing the show with you after one of the games, a postseason game.
Yeah.
You didn't even know who the offensive line coach was. I brought up Adam Stenovich, and I might as well have been talking to you about some hip TikTok.
No,
video.
I know who Stenovich
no, you
is
did,
because he's
you
really
didn't
important.
vent.
I
you
did.
Didn't
but
vent.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fine. Say I did.
Here's the
That's
deal.
good. Yes.
Most fans, we are kind of conditioned to look at it from a head coach, general manager, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. We're not dialed in to every little detail about which assistant coach does this. And now there's so many different coaches. So I think we look at it, and unless a coach gets fired, like Rebrovich, the defensive line, because it was a disappointing season, we don't really discuss and get into it. The point on this is here's somebody that after a year, Jeff Hafley came in, and I had got all kind of arguments this week about, if the defense is good enough and blah. Bottom line is the defense was good enough to win games. This defense now, a linebackers coach, Campanelli, he is so sought after that in one interview he gets hired as the DC at Jacksonville. Duval. It is a big deal because Edgerrin Cooper is emerging. You have a young player that is, ascending and excited to be out there. Everybody's fired up about his development, and you always worry when you change things and they're ascending and going in the right direction, just like Detroit is probably concerned on both of their ends because you don't know how that's going to shake out.
Those are coordinators, not position coaches.
It is, but
sir.
There's also, there's assistant coaches go with those coordinators. You end up losing a bunch. And the bottom line is, Homer, I spent as a player 98% of my time. I know you say 98% isn't 98% of my time was with James Campen and or Larry Bechtel when they were my O-line coach. That's who my relationship is. That's where I grew as a player. That was who my direct report was. Then it was the offensive coordinator, limited less, and then the head coach. So while they have a bigger purview of the team, when you're looking at how can we get better, how are you going to develop players, position coaches matter. So yes, it's not the same sexy thing as if, Jeff Hafley left. It would be everybody be up in arms. That's not where we're at today. But I think the fact that we saw some strides in that linebacker group and he's gone. Went, nobody was delving into how the safeties coach was doing. Nobody even mentioned about Rebrovich until he got fired. Matter of fact, most Packer fans wouldn't have even known.
Well, no, and that makes me think that's a joke too in terms of the importance.
But it's not a joke. Homer, I'm not sitting here telling you it's as important as having a starting quarterback playing at a high level. I'm not saying that. That obviously is the big trump card. But these supplemental pieces add up. And if you don't have the right guy, all of a sudden things can go south. So there is it from a player standpoint. I'm not talking about from a media or from a fan standpoint. A player spends 95 to 98% of your time with this coach. This is who you're scheming with, who you're working your fundamentals with, who you're developing with, who you gain trust with. And then they put you in. GMs will tell you a certain thing, but the coaches have to trust you're going to be the guy to play. So that's where that importance comes. That's the relationship that matters.
Right.
For
and
most
there are
of these
100
players.
of these guys. All right, here's what I say. I think it's 80% players, 15% coordinators, and 5% coach. All right, your success in the NFL, what percentage was you and what percentage was your position coaches?
Oh, boy. I mean, yeah, I don't think you're far off on that. It comes down to players. And, Homer, you brought this up. I am not saying it's the end-all, be-all. There is going to be a new coach, and they're going to do a good job or they're going to get fired. That's how the NFL works. But I am saying do you think the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line is going to be as good if Stoutman, I think his name's Stoutman, is the offensive line coach? Or
almost. The difference will be minimal.
See, and it is the techniques and players always trump everything else. You can give me 5 really good offensive linemen, but if they don't know what they're asked to be done and the scheme isn't executed, it ain't going to look right, and it's not going to be successful. So that's going to be those are kind of your differences, and I think it is overblown, certainly, the day after he gets it. And I'm going to guess right now, when it gets to be March, you're not even going to remember Campanelli's name. The only reason you is because it's kind of a fun name to finish, Campanelli.
No,
otherwise, it is going to be the next step. And then my guess is in August, you come on our show, I'll ask you, hey, Homer, who's the new linebackers coach? I think you're going to struggle to know when they make this hire.
I won't know unless the people covering the team make mention of how good someone is. Here's the reason I brought it up. Because I've been giving Goody a lot of credit. I said it's the most positive thing, his recent drafts with Cooper. Well, maybe it isn't Goody. Maybe the only reason Cooper's good is this spectacular position coach, Campanelli. So I'm giving credit to Goody that he doesn't really deserve, because without Campanelli, Cooper wouldn't be what he is, or Cooper and Bullard and Evans, or Williams. The only reason they're so good as rookies is because of their position coaches.
So,
I think that's crap. But
all of it goes together. I would agree. I'm not going to say it's crap. I'm going to tell you this: players matter, talent matters. Yeah. But Homer, you know this: the difference in winning and losing
matters.
The winning and losing in the NFL is razor's edge. Everybody's got talent. How do you utilize?
No, they don't.
Oh,
That's not true. They don't. No, the difference in the teams
Homer,
is the
hold
talent.
Up a second.
What?
Homer, Washington's
You telling me Tennessee has the same talent as Philadelphia and Kansas City?
Do you think Washington has as much talent as Philadelphia or Kansas City?
No, they're close because quarterback is the most important, and they have a very good young quarterback. So yes.
You can flip it, and the scheme and what they asked him to do meshed well. They overproduced. Coaching is about getting overproduction from your talent. Everybody has talent. Is it all the same? No.
But you can't get overproduction
Homer, why did
for very long.
Why did Belichick win 6? Was it because of Tom Brady, or is it because Tom Brady didn't light up every Super Bowl? Bill Belichick understood what it took to win. He got his guys that fit the system. They were never the most talented team. How many times do you look at their most talented teams fell short of winning championships? So to act as if coaching, I don't know what I think we're saying the same thing. You're being
you bring up Belichick, fine. I'm bringing up the over exaggeration of the importance of position coaches. Yes, the head coach is most important. The coordinators and the position coaches are never brought up by the people who follow the team on a daily basis, or if they do, for example, not once did I ever hear anybody who covers the team say, the problem with the defensive line coach. Never brought up. So my point is.
So, okay, Homer, all right, if the defensive line, they pick up one draft pick, next year they're star-spangled awesome.
Yes.
Are you going to say coaching matters that much more?
No, I'm going to say it's all players. Because I'm going to go by, for example, what?
It'll be the same players, though. That's my point. You're going to get a litmus test of this.
If it occurs, I would lean toward the coordinator before the line coach, as it should appropriately be done. Right?
I don't know. I think the coordinator's the same. The only variable you're changing is the defensive line coach. And if all of a sudden the production skyrockets, is it, they're in the second year, they understand the scheme more? Is it these players, Van Ness and some of these younger players, are developing? Rashawn Gary just is healthier? We don't know, but I'm telling you right now, if that happens, everybody is going to look at it and say, a different coach, different production, boom, 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 and everybody would be excited about that. That is, I guess, the kind of the quandary we're in.
It's the last time a portion of the team did well, and they went, hey, the key is the position coach. The only time it has ever happened in my covering would be the offensive line coach.
Oh, I don't know
what players talked about Campen. And how good he was.
I think you've seen that with running backs. I think you've seen that.
Clements has been given a little credit as well.
Clements got a ton. I think the receiving coach. It's just when your position group is incredibly productive, you reap the benefits of that. When they are not, you get fired.
Right. Who gets the most credit? The GM for the drafting, the head coach, especially if it's an offensive guy, and then the coordinator, receivers coach. That's just above the equipment manager. Come on.
Here's the deal for everybody that is listening. You don't think coaching matters as much as
No, I think it matters, but there's a tier.
That you could coach the pitching team for the Brewers. You think you could be the hitting coach.
No, I could be the hitting coach because the hitting coach is a waste of time.
Pitching coach too.
I never have said pitching coach ever. I've said hitting coach because no hitting coach has ever been good. It's an impossible. It's like me being the coach of stopping snow in Wisconsin. You're going to fail. No one can do it. No one can be the hitting coach. No one has succeeded in 50 years, maybe one person. So it's impossible. I could have been the quarterback's coach for Aaron Rodgers because, Rodgers, you handle everything. I'll get you coffee.
All right.
And that would have been Aaron Rodgers, and he would have been fine.
All right. This gives you a pretty good window into where Homer's at. I think it's the news of the day. That's why we're talking about it. I'm with you. I don't think this is some monument. I heard Jason on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. And he made it out like this was a big blanket deal. For today, it is. But is Edgerrin Cooper's production and development going to be stunted because this coach? If he is, that means he's not that good.
Yes,
and that means Matt LaFleur hasn't hired. So for anyone that is, and I thought Jason overreacted, but he obviously sees that there's some development. I think Matt LaFleur is going to hire a really good coach. I think it's going to allow.
He's going to hire the guy already on the staff that worked.
Whatever, I'm saying. Edgerrin Cooper's future is not tied to whoever. Edgerrin Cooper's future is going to be, is he going to really pick up every nuance of what this defense is and play unimpeded? Because last year there was too many alignment errors. That's why he didn't play earlier. Everybody sees his talent. Everybody, when they picked him second round, thought, what a steal. It certainly looks that way. And I do believe, even though old boy just left for Jacksonville, that should not change what we expect from Edgerrin Cooper. And that's really what this thing comes down to. There's a little window into the coaching, and today is the last day. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray and frigid days on the horizon. We just want to be snugly and warm at home. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with zero interest for 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry up. You got until today. You got till midnight tonight. Visit PellaWI.com to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply. There's something else that has come up, and I know we have Jason joining us at 9:30. Homer doesn't want to take the lead. That's fine. I got this, Steve. You sit back and sit on your coffee and smoke your cigarette or whatever else you're doing.
Do your ears need to be checked? Let's go back, run the tape in which I said I will run the show as a favor to Tausch. Those were my exact words.
Homer.
What about that didn't you hear?
The fact that you're
what about that didn't you hear? Did you object at that moment?
Yes. I'm insulted that you I'm insulted that you owe me a favor.
Now what do you want to do? Now what do you want to do? What you're going to take over now? Okay.
Well,
all right.
I didn't realize someone that's hosted radio for 72 years. It's such an off-putting. Oh my God, the world is coming to an end. I got this. We're going to hit on a couple other things. There's something that on Jim, Matt, and Molly, Evan Cohen brought up yesterday about ranking the big three, because basically what Homer's saying is the position coaches don't matter. It is quarterback, GM, and coach is how you're going to succeed in the NFL. We're going to get Homer's thoughts on that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson from Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced last year from the middle of August to the middle of October. And over 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat simply by changing my diet. No surgeries, no injections, no intense workout regimens. All it was the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, just changing what I eat. 40 pounds I was able to drop thanks to the team and the expert coaching and guidance with Madison Weight Loss. And now this week, my wife Becca and I are out on a cruise, and I'm feeling good, I'm living good, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. I'm able to fit into clothes I couldn't even fit into 6 years ago, the last time we went on a big tropical vacation. This is amazing, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. Schedule a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com and see how they can help you achieve your weight loss goals. I understand the turn of the year, everyone sets their weight loss goals, and you might be already struggling to try and achieve them. Contact the team. Trust me, it really works. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
It's New Year, new deals at Metro Ford of Madison. With 204 new vehicles in stock, Metro Ford is your home for the best selection and the biggest savings of 2025. Enjoy the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, $15.97 per thousand borrowed. Or get the future of driving with the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 72 months. But hurry, these deals end February 3rd. Visit Metro Ford in person or online at metrofordofmadison.com and drive off in the new Ford of your dreams today.
We're on the Packers.
The lesson to be learned is you can't be a 7 seed.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They got to be better, and if they're not, then next year will be a disappointment.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
You just do you.
That's fine. I'll do it as a favor to you. So that's fine. I don't know what about Homer said he'll fill in for Jason, but he's not doing the show. They would have said, look it. But anyway, it's over. I'm doing the show. All right.
No, he's not. But that is
Thank you.
the Homer true. Filling in
were you
for
on
me.
at that time? Were you on at that time, sir?
Yeah,
were
I
you
was
listening? Did we miss the response he had of no, I'll do it? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
You did
as a favor.
God, I wish I was a Hall of Famer. Oh,
I don't want to
be fun.
I don't want to put Homer out where he's
just
working too
run
hard.
with it, buddy.
We're gonna get Homer.
Thank you.
We'll get Homer.
Thanks, producer. I owe you breakfast at Ted's.
I know he's used to hosting a 30-minute show and not a 3-hour one. So we'll give him a break today.
Nice.
Homer, Riley just told me that somebody called in and said you're a complete buffoon for thinking you could be the hitting coach, as the Brewers hitting coach left for the Royals and helped them win a championship. What do you say about that?
Again, anybody has it for 1 year. I want to emphasize, as I said on Twitter, you could too. This is not just me. I've stated the position is impossible. It's a waste of time. No. Yes, you could. Well,
no, I couldn't.
Because no one succeeds. People have had 1 year, but it isn't consistent, so that 1 year is a fluke.
I mean, we just disagree. I think
fine. Check the facts.
Part of it is, and Homer, part of it is, here's the deal. You're not really a team sport guy. You've been a tennis guy, which is individual. Am I right?
No, you don't know. You're wrong. I'm a smart guy. That's the issue.
No, but Homer, you're mainly known. Obviously, you're the voice of Marquette. You're an Emmy Award winner that doesn't like hosting shows anymore. You like sitting in the passenger seat, which is annoying, but it is what it is. You're a tennis guy.
Fine, whatever you say.
That is what? Are you not?
It has nothing to do with the issue. Address the issue. When you bring up other stuff, that means you don't have a defense. Hitting coaches have never, ever been a success on any level of a consistent basis. There are examples of a good year, then the guy gets fired in a couple years.
Do you not believe that there are certain people that are better at teaching techniques and fundamentals about the system they're running than just some random schlub off the street?
Yes,
you really
and those players have already had all those skills, have already had all that great coaching, so there's nothing that a hitting coach can do. If somebody has had a position in which everybody has failed on a consistent basis, everyone, for 60 years, would you not at some point think that's an impossible job because
It's a tough job. No, it's a tough job, but it's a rewarding job. Homer, if I had gotten a different O-line coach that didn't believe in me and didn't teach and demand, I don't know if I would have made it. I don't know that answer. There are variables. There's different levels of knowledge and who can do what. And so, and I just think, and this isn't a
how many
shot at you.
offensive line coaches did you have in Green Bay?
Three.
I would check your career and say you were pretty consistent, regardless of who the line coach was.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right. Well, I rest my case.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I am.
Wait a minute. You have three different guys. You're the same with any of the three. Does that not mean that the coach really wasn't that big an issue? Unless you just amazingly had the three best line coaches in the history of the NFL.
There is a part where, and this is where I think Jason was coming from. Young players, when you're a veteran, you are who you are. You're going to learn little things, but you're the player that you're going to be. And the coaches know that, and they give you liberties. Like, you think that Stoutman is coaching Jason Kelsey the same way he's coaching a rookie?
So, all right, now, hold on. Now we're learning. So now you're telling me the coach that's important is the coach that you have when you're a young player.
It is the most important, yes.
Okay, who was your coach when you were a young player?
Larry Bechtel, Jimmy Huber at the University of Wisconsin. And I think both are obviously very well respected.
Right. I have not checked. You were a 7th-round draft choice,
yes.
Right? So
yes.
Were there any offensive linemen that were young like you that were a draft choice before the 7th round, and how did they do?
Cliffy turned out, I think, Packer Hall of Famer.
No, I mean, like he was a 2nd-round pick, or yeah. I'm talking about someone.
That's literally what you just asked me.
Okay, so all right, we have that.
Okay, so Homer, I guess I don't want to sit here and just argue to argue. I mean, I love arguing, but I'm not going to sit and just argue
all right,
with you.
We can move on.
Yeah, and I think we will, and I know Jason's got strong thoughts on this too, but
we got a break to get to him.
That's what I'm doing if you would have let me, but now you want to run the show even though you tell me you don't. What is it? It is annoying.
Play that segment again, please.
No,
apparently, that's fine. I'll do it as a favor to you.
No,
so that's fine.
Hey, I'm not
I don't know what about.
Hey,
wait a minute. Did you edit out Tauscher's response to that? No, I'm doing it.
I'm doing the show.
How many times do we?
Hey, Badger fans, American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game during the upcoming season. You and a friend will receive pregame sideline or courtside passes, tour of the facility, and tons of great Badger merch. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. No purchases necessary. Dream fearlessly, insure carefully. Jason Wilde is going to join our show. I think he is on the road for one of his kids' many sporting events. We will talk to him about this same issue. We'll do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They were good. They were not good enough.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for the Super Automotive Team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust. Well, the countdown is on to crown another champion in football. And while I sure wish Green Bay was the team that would finish on top, there is another team in Wisconsin that's consistently recognized as being the best of the best, and that's Zimbrick Chevrolet. Year after year, Zimbrick is recognized as a best of Madison operation. And just like the best football teams have to be at their best in all three phases, Zimbrick is great across the board. Whether you're looking for a simple tune-up or you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Stop in and say hi to some of the friendly faces on Main Street in Sun Prairie, or start searching for what you need from home by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Either way, I hope you take some time and discover what this super team I've been telling you about for all these years at Zimbrick Chevrolet is all about. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside, with inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott and Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. The holiday season may be over, but that means Valentine's Day is approaching. It doesn't matter the occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, or if you're in the doghouse, or if you want to stay out of it, I recommend Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and in Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than fourth-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with CelebrationsEntertainment.com. That's CelebrationsEntertainment.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between two great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free, plus earn a $500 bonus. It's easy to start your new career. Learn more at WisCaregiver.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the San Antonio Spurs.
Back to Giannis, and Giannis is hanging on the rim again.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
guess I am the pilot. Homer is, I don't even know if are you just a passenger today, or what are we doing here?
Every segment I have to be told what I am. What actually am I now?
I know. I'm not 100% sure I know, but I know this. Okay. Every time my co-host is out, I appreciate him even more. Especially when
That's what I'm here to do.
No offense, Homer.
Offense taken.
Jason Wilde, who is a 3-time sports writer of the year, a wonderful teammate, and a great co-host on Wilde and Tausch. And boy, do I miss him today. Jason, how are you this morning? Oh, my God. I don't know how anybody – Homer, I love you. I'm exhausted already.
I have been getting some complaints on the private carbless talk and text line, and also
Pipe Jim.
Via some social media. If you guys could be a little less contentious with each other, that would be great. But I appreciate you both. We've got a very crazy weekend with our little Deion Sanders. So we're headed to Milwaukee for a gymnastics meet. Sid's competing in today, and then she's got a basketball tournament tomorrow, and then she's got a volleyball tournament on Sunday. Maddie's got a gymnastics meet on Sunday. So got a lot going on here. I'm walking the dogs. So I appreciate you guys filling the void for me. And I was watching earlier on YouTube. I really enjoyed while you were walking around the new Pickler facility very far away from the camera. That was my personal favorite.
Well, it took us a while. Yeah, it took us a while to figure some things out. But, yeah, I think we've got it. We got the nice logo behind us. And we are having our grand opening tomorrow. I got a little ribbon cutting that I'm doing here at 11:30. So Homer's actually going to have to take over the entire show. But Jason,
excuse me,
I'm listening to.
Can I just check? Did you just say 11:30? I believed I received some.
11:40-ish.
Just sorry.
You
to
know how ribbon
ahead.
cuttings. Hey, you know how ribbon cuttings go. They're typically, a little bit late.
When
Jason,
you are cutting the ribbon, it will be whenever you want it to be. But go ahead.
I thought you said you weren't cutting the ribbon.
Well, I didn't think I was, and now I think I might be. We'll find out later. I'll make sure to chronicle that. Let's get to – I'm listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning on my drive up to Green Bay. And I hear you say something that Homer pounces on right in the beginning of the show, and that's why it did get a little contentious. You made the promotion of Campanelli into being some monster deal, and now Green Bay's defense is going to fall off the map. Tell me, can you please explain what you meant by that?
Yeah, that was actually the portion of the show that I was tuned in for. And Homer, I love you. And again, I appreciate you filling in. I think because so much of your athletic exploits and your work has been with smaller teams, right? Whether it was you earning your tennis letter.
Yes.
I covered the Packers for 10 years. I had a weekly interview with Reggie White. I was on the Brett Favre show for 7 years. I have large experience with the Packers. My comments are based on all that time covering the team and the discussion of position coaches.
Cool. Yeah. So a couple things.
Yes.
First of all, even during that era, which I loved Pack Attack, especially that time that Favre was throwing fastballs inside whatever bar restaurant you guys would do that show at. And you had the radar gun from the Milwaukee Sheriff's Department that didn't even work that day. I get it. You know football. I'm not saying you don't. You made a really good point about Ron Wolf, even though you spelled his name wrong, and Andy Reid. But that's like Old Testament. That's like Don Hudson. Like now they got so many coaches. I mean, they brought back Luke Getsy. He's not even coaching a position. He's a senior offensive assistant.
Right, which emphasizes the insignificance of each one because now they have 100 of them.
It's just,
all right. Okay.
Tout, and obviously only one of the three people on this panel, and Riley. Sorry, Riley, but you didn't play in the NFL either. Only one of us has played in the league, and you heard what Tausch said earlier about James Campen, and Larry Betzel. Like, that is, like, I don't even know if I fully appreciated this until actually this year, which is crazy, right? Since I've covered this team forever. But, like, I can't remember which player I was talking to, but they basically made it sound like they never talked to LaFleur. Like, that LaFleur speaks in front of the room, and then on occasion, you know, he comes to the locker room and says, hey, what's up, or whatever. But, like, you know, and then Tausch was talking about this with his decision not to do full-fledged exit interviews, that, like, you just don't talk to your head coach as often as you would think. And you being around Shaka Smart, that's incomprehensible, because basketball is totally different.
They have he has now 10 people as part of his staff. 10.
Right, but he's still on a player-to-player basis, he is still far more engaged every day and at every practice than LaFleur is, or any
Then we
NFL
should
coach.
mention that, and everybody should know the insignificance of the head coach compared to what people think it is, which was never and has never been mentioned by a single reporter for any team in the history of the league.
Right, but I don't know if we've ever really, like, I don't know if it's ever been a topic that we discussed. Like, he's the front-facing coach, and he's the one who talks to the media, and so we assume that he is, and look, he is the most important, he's the highest paid, he's the guy that gets fired if your team underachieves, all those things. But in terms of day-to-day operations, Tausch is 1,000,000% right. It's your position coach who you spend the most time with, who is the most important to your development. And so when I said what I did about Campanile, I meant it, because it is true. And I think the other part of it that's important is that when you look at this group and you look at, say, Quay Walker, for example. Now, was Quay Walker a better player this year in part because he was in a system where he could not have to read and react, he could just be aggressive? Yes. Did he also still make mistakes early in the season? Right? Especially, I remember can't remember which game it was early in the year, but he basically was in the right gap and, like, intentionally ran out of the gap and missed the tackle because of it. Like, he made so many strides, and then when he hurt his ankle in Seattle, was it? He was playing the best football we had seen him play. And is Hafley part of that? Of course. Is the system part of it? Of course. But I would argue the biggest part of it was Anthony Campanile. And obviously Quay Walker himself doing the work to improve. Edgerrin Cooper, who you absolutely love. Like, you may love him more than Breakfast at Ted's. But his development, he obviously has incredible raw talent, but Anthony Campanile is a huge part of getting him ready to be effective as a rookie. And if you look at what he did early in the season, I always bring this up because this is what rookies do, and this is what Goody is fine with, the idea of growing pains early and living through them so they can come out on the other side. Edgerrin Cooper played in that opener against Philadelphia in Brazil. He had a tackle for loss. And then a few plays later, he completely misaligned. You can see, if you're watching the tape, Xavier McKinney and others yelling to him to tell him he's in the wrong spot. And then Saquon Barkley runs right through the spot where he's supposed to be for a touchdown. So let's not underestimate. Now, is Rome falling now because Anthony Campanile is working in Jacksonville? No. And frankly, I think Jeff Hafley, who has known Campanile for almost 20 years, even though they had never worked before together until this past season, was planning, knowing that this guy's a damn good coach. He knew that he was probably going to have to replace him at some point. So they have a guy named Sean Duggan, who was a defensive assistant, but his primary role was assistant linebackers coach, who was with Hafley at Ohio State in 19. Hafley took him with him to Boston College for the 4 years he was the head coach there. He was the coordinator on a co-defensive coordinator for a year. So I think the hope is that a guy who spent all season in that room will be ready to kind of take the mantle and continue the development of all these guys in that room. But I think this is a pretty major loss. And when you add in the fact that he was in position to potentially be the 49ers defensive coordinator, had Robert Saleh not come back, and the Penn State defensive coordinator, who they also had an interest in him, I think that tells you that the guy pretty much is a pretty impressive guy to multiple people, not just me.
So do we give too much credit to Halfley and more should have been given to Campanile?
No, I think it's his scheme. He's the guy calling the plays. That still matters. Just like Matt LaFleur on offense, that still matters. I think my point is in terms of the actual development. I mean, let's use your co-host today. I guess he's the pilot or the driver or whatever we're calling him. But look, he is an incredibly gifted athlete, or at least was. We'll see how much pickleball he's able to play tomorrow at his new facility. But the fact of the matter is that he developed into an outstanding NFL player, and he owes it to the guys that were his position coaches. You know, as much as he loves Mike McCarthy or Mike Sherman or whomever else, Tausch's point is right on the mark, and that is that he learned the most from Campy and from Bechtel, and those are the guys that shaped and Jim Huber at Wisconsin.
But only if you believe that they made him better than he was. I believe he would have been 90% at least as good, maybe 110% with other coaches. And he can't dispute that. Did you hear that conversation?
Again, as long as you're not a complete hack, like, say, if you had been the Brewers hitting coach, most players are probably talented enough to get a lot out of their talent. But whether or not they can maximize their talent, and maybe the 10% difference is the things they pick up. Look, you don't fire Jason Rebrovich just because that group was unproductive.
Yeah, Homer.
Yes, you do. That's exactly why it was done.
No, you don't. No, I'm telling you, you don't. Because if he's a really good coach, you keep him anyway, and you say, look, this guy knows what he's doing, but it just wasn't – it didn't work this year. These guys struggled to convert to the new system. No, they clearly did not like some of the things he was doing as a coach and whether or not he was getting the most out of some pretty talented, high-priced players or high draft pick players. So, again, I'm not saying that assistant coaches make or break the team, but when it comes to developing players and when it comes to an organization that is so hell-bent on turning over the roster and having young guys all the time, they're so important to those guys' development.
Yeah, so, and Jason, that was my point. It's one thing if your linebacker group is 5-6 years in, but the early part of guys' careers are where you get that. And I heard Chewy talking about that this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, where at some point it's like, hey, Chewy, why don't you go through this? You're going to coach guys differently. Young players learn their way by the veterans in front of them and the coaches they have when they're young players. So they got to get this right. And I think but Edgerrin Cooper, let's not kid ourselves. He's going to be a great player because he's a great player. The coaches will help get him there earlier. But the fact that it's early in his career, I kind of lean a little bit with you. But I don't think when it gets to be August, we're going to be sitting here saying, well, losing Campanile really is the reason that this group isn't very good up front.
No, and again, he was the run game coordinator. They finished 7th in the league in run defense, which is still hard to believe in some ways. But the reality is that when it comes to development, those guys really matter. And to your point, they're not going to have position groups where they have all 5th or 6th year guys, because that would mean they'd all be on second contracts. And Goody's definitely not giving out many third contracts, and I don't think he's going to give out a whole lot of second ones going forward. So it is always going to be important. If you're going to be a draft and develop team, you better have a strong staff. that can do the developing. And Anthony Campanile did that. Now, again, I don't want to make it sound like, you guys were joking about it at the start of this. I'm not saying that they're going to go 6-11 now because Anthony Campanile left. That's not what I'm saying. But Edgerrin Cooper is talented. There's no denying it. There's also no denying that he didn't know what the hell he was doing most of the time until probably the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season, when he finally started to understand the system and know where he was supposed to go and know other people's responsibilities. And whose responsibility is it to teach him that? Anthony Campanile. And that's why it matters.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
no,
Jason,
I'm not changing my opinion.
Wow.
The other person they have would do
Oh.
90. If it's just going to be close to the same, maybe not. It's just, we're just not going to agree.
Jason,
and I defer to.
Now, wait a minute.
All right.
What?
Okay.
Wait a
Go
minute.
ahead.
So first of all, I don't know if I've ever heard the two of you be that silent at the same time.
Well,
ever.
I thought Homer
Secondly,
he's been jumping in the whole time. I had another point I wanted to bring up, but.
Well, let me just say this.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Put a bow on it.
Okay.
I just want to be clear on this. When we talk about the NFL, we talk about the margins being the difference, right?
Razor thin.
Yes. If you say that 90, anybody could coach that position and you'd get 90% of the same production, you're probably right, Homer. But the other 10% is where it matters. Like, that's the difference between Edgerrin and Cooper. Here's an example, by the way.
You're really going to go in this direction. You think you want to make some point of the difference of this team next year could be the change in the defensive line coach or the change in this position?
No. I'm saying.
And I want to emphasize, I think the discussion is vastly overstated. It's not even close to the difference in that 10%. There are so many 15 other things, and the difference in that 10% more important than whatever this percent could be over the position coaches, which in fact now they have 1 million of them, so each of them by definition are less important than they used to be because there's so many of them.
Well, I understand that you're not the easiest person to convince of things that you don't believe. But that's not at all what I was going to say. I was going to use 2 plays from the Jacksonville game with Edgerrin Cooper that illustrate that sometimes it is about how you love that, don't you? He's still doing that.
I love it.
The difference in 2 plays, one based purely on how terrific of an athlete and player Edgerrin Cooper is, and one based on how, with the proper coaching, he was in the right position to make a game-changing play. So there were 2 plays that earned him the Defensive Player of the Week award that week. One was the strip fumble he had on Trevor Lawrence. And he came on a blitz, which he executed perfectly based on how it was designed by Jeff Hafley and how it was coached by Anthony Campanile. That turns out to be a huge play in the game. On the flip side, the play where he runs the length of the field covering Christian Kirk, who is a fast wide receiver that a linebacker has no business guarding, and breaking up the pass at the very end. Mm-hmm. He actually ran too close to the line of scrimmage when he was showing blitz. He did not do that play correctly at all, not the way it was coached, but he made the play out of sheer athleticism and talent. And those 2 plays are the difference, along with the field goal that Brandon McManus makes, the walk-off field goal, and the throw that Malik Willis makes to Reed to put him in field goal position. Those are the 4 plays that decide that game. There's whatever there are, 100 and some plays in the game, and those are the 4 plays that decide the game. And at least one of them was because it was executed the way it was coached by a player who wasn't always executing things the way they were coached. The others were talent, whatever you want to view it. But what I'm saying is you lose that game. It seems innocuous on October 27th to lose to an AFC South team. But that could be the difference between you making the playoffs or not. Yeah. So, yes, the margins
I can give you 100 examples more important than that one of making the playoffs, and they're almost all with Jordan Love.
No, you can't
I know,
say that. They all matter. They all matter.
So hold up a second. So Homer, this is what Homer always goes back to, and we all know we spend a vast majority of our time on our various shows talking quarterback, GM, and head coach because they matter. Defensive
wisely so, I would emphasize.
Yes, and I'm not arguing that, but Jason and you have a lot of driving coming up. I implore you to listen to Matt Patricia and Julian Edelman's podcast. It gives you the margins that you're talking about. You just went through 2 Super Bowls, go the other way. Matt Patricia gets in the ear of the guy that's got the green dot, and he tells him, don't sub out. They're going to run this play. Make sure to tell the corner not to get picked, Malcolm Butler, to make that play. They don't sub. The Seahawks end up running it, and it's exactly drawn up the way the coach. And then the other one, to win the other Super Bowl, is Dante Hightower. He's in his ear telling him, don't show. We just saw that their third down back got hurt. They're putting Freeman in. He is not going to know if you walk up late, he'll miss you. You go in and strip sack it and make this fumble so we win the game. Both of those plays came to fruition. So coaching matters, Homer, and it makes the Razors difference. We're talking about the Patriots in a whole different way. If they lose those 2, they're an average. They only have 4 Super Bowls, and they lose more. Those 2 things Jason just went over are exactly what they have. Jason, before we let you go, I do want you to listen to that. We'll talk about that next week. The other thing, Dancing Danny on our Carbless Talk and text line, list is more, just brought up, it's been 5 years. What do you, at some point, when do you put it on the player if their fundamentals and techniques aren't where you want them to be compared to, the coaching? Because there's still questions about Jordan Love and his footwork and the consistency he's doing. That's what Dancing Danny. Where do you fall on that?
Yeah, look, I don't want to be misinterpreted here. The responsibility lies with the player, whether you're Mark Tauscher, 7th-round pick, or Lucas Van Ness, 1st-round pick. It does the ultimate responsibility. You can, if you have a polluted mindset, as Mike McCarthy used to say, you can blame everybody but yourself, right? You can find a way to say, well, it was Joe Barry's system, or it was Jason Rebrovich's coaching, or Matt LaFleur didn't give me enough opportunities. You can say all those things. The good ones recognize that, hey, regardless of this, I didn't do good enough, and I have to be better. And so, when I look, whether it's Love, who, I was saying this to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning too. I'm so fascinated by this season, and it's not like the 2023 season when I said that, because I had no idea what was going to happen. I certainly didn't envision what did happen. But this is a pivotal. This is like that fulcrum offseason and then season for so many people here, right? I mean, Matt LaFleur, the seat, you've talked about it. The seat will get warmer if they don't have a better playoff showing than they have had. The Jordan Love development piece with a new, younger recent former player as his now position coach, I want to see him make a huge jump. He had a guy who helped fix his fundamentals and his footwork and his throwing motion. Those should be farther along because of Tom Clements. Now I'm curious to see how Sean Mannion helps him become an even better player. But this is going to be such a critical year, 2025, in this whole regime, because otherwise, look, they're going to end up, and this is one area where Homer's been right, like they're going to be the Steve Mariucci 49ers. If the quarterback doesn't make a jump, if the head coach doesn't find ways to, make the offense more productive, especially in critical situations. So I do think it's mostly on the player. Let's not misconstrue what we're saying about position coaches, that they can't. I'm not saying Anthony Campanile is such a great coach that he can take a NAIA backup middle linebacker and turn him into a productive NFL player. You still have to have the talent, the understanding of the system, the intelligence, all those, the measurables, everything you need. But again, he was really, and what I liked about him, and I said this to them this morning, is that I think the best coaches just like the best leaders, know that you treat everyone equally, but you don't treat them all the same. And he had a really good knack and has a really good knack, which I'm sure the Jaguars players will find, of, all right, this is a guy that I can chew his ass out and he'll respond. I got another guy here that I need to put my arm around him and say, hey, you are a better player than this. I know you can find this in yourself. Here's what you got to do to be the best version of yourself. Campanile is great at that. He comes from a family of coaches. His dad is a coaching legend in the high school ranks in New Jersey. All three of his brothers are also coaches. Like, he gets coaching. And so I don't think I oversold him. I think you just have to understand what exactly the responsibility is of the assistant coaches, of the players, of the head coach, etc. It all works in concert.
I did have one question about the defensive line coach who got fired. Didn't he get elevated? He had been there what did he be, 3 years with the Packers, and they elevated him up? Or is that not true?
So he, what's weird about Jason Rebrovich's track, and this is another reason why maybe the change was made, and it's not that he's a crappy coach, it's that he was in a position where he's coaching something that's not his area of expertise. So he actually coached in Jacksonville for a while. I think he was somewhere else too in the NFL. So they bring him in on Joe Barry's defensive staff. He's the outside linebackers coach his first year. Then they give him a different title as pass rush specialist, still in the 3-4 system. So basically he was the edge rushers coach. And then they switched to a 4-3, and Hafley keeps him on, but he's coaching a totally different system than he had been previously. And I think the feeling was that he didn't do a good enough job of getting these guys to make the conversion. Now, going back to what we were just talking about, not a great job by those players of making the conversion either. They have responsibility there.
But they thought he was a pretty good coach, right?
Yeah, but okay. Maybe it just doesn't fit. And I will say this about Covington, their new defensive line coach. Here's a guy who played wide receiver in college, started out coaching linebackers for Bill Belichick, and then they moved him to defensive line. And I found a quote from Belichick from a few years ago talking about this guy. And we know Belichick doesn't rave about people very often. He absolutely raved about how good he is at coaching things, and that's why he was able to have different roles on the Patriots staff. So does that guarantee that he's going to get the best out of Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary? No, it doesn't, because they still have the responsibility of elevating their games on their own. But I'm very curious to see a guy from the Bill Belichick coaching tree, what kind of job he does with the Packers defensive line.
Outstanding stuff. Jason, you are a great guest. You're a wonderful co-host. We miss you. You are a great guest. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, boys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, I thought kind of slapped you around a little bit, Steve. Kind of put you in your place, which I like.
No, he slapped me right. He didn't put me in any place.
I don't know about that.
This is the time to talk about coaches. Fine.
Indeed. And it also is the time to talk about picking up a little extra spending cash. Head over to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. Bunch of studies, healthy adults, ages 18 to 60, BMI 18 to 32. Study 2 stays, 15 nights and 7 follow-ups. You can be compensated $13,820 for your time and participation. Head over to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com. And as usually is the case, usually Jason's hosting the show. We're late. We are with Balaga. We're usually about 10:20. We still have another segment in the 10 o'clock hour. We will do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys. And I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. It's fun to watch the games, but when you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you that every Friday is a Feelgood Friday on Wilde And Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Well, it could be this weekend, it could be this summer, it could be after next football season, but when the time comes for you to get started on your next paint project, the best place to start is at Home and Lindsay Paints. And just like me, trust Wisconsin's best painters, the pro painters at Home and Lindsay, to get the job done right. To get connected with the pro that's best suited for what your project calls for, stop into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location and ask. The team at Home and Lindsay can take it from there. What makes Home and Lindsay Wisconsin's best paint? Well, as has been proven with the weather over the last few weeks, it's the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people. And stick around for Feelgood Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
The 2025 Wisconsin football schedule is here, and you should be too. Season tickets are on sale now, so don't miss your chance to jump around at Camp Randall Stadium this fall. Last year, 6 of 7 home games were sellouts, proof that there's nothing like game day with the Badgers. Secure your spot for marquee matchups against Ohio State, Washington, and Iowa, and enjoy the best value to see Wisconsin football in action. For more information and to get your season tickets, visit ewbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
There's no safer place to feel dumb than Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
I would love to play court on Mr. Irrelevant.
What do you mean play court? You want a mock trial?
Yeah, mock trial. Yeah.
Who's on trial for what?
Me.
For being a dumbass?
Yeah, right.
Oh, guilty. I solved it.
Yeah. Just start playing back old shows.
Yeah, the evidence is monumentous.
Mr. Irrelevant, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Wilde And Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Back at it here on Wilde And Tausch. I'm up at the new Pickler facility up in Green Bay. Excited for the big grand opening tomorrow. Steve the Homer True joining us. Jason was great. Just kind of went through the news that the Packers lost their linebackers coach, Campanelli, I heard it both ways, to the Jacksonville Jaguars as their new defensive coordinator. Homer, what would you do if you opened up a new package of cough drops and you open the side and you reach in to grab your first cough drop and there is an empty wrapper of a cough drop that was not in the package? Do you know what I'm saying? A total empty cough drop. It's BS. I'm irritated. It was a brand new package, so I ripped it open, grabbed a coffee, and the first one is like if somebody had used an old bag and they threw the old wrapper back in there. That's in a brand new bag.
I would be less concerned than you.
It's irritating, though, wouldn't it be?
So yes, it's a little disappointing, but I would still feel comfortable using another cough drop.
No, it's not that. Don't you feel like you're getting taken a little bit?
Only if I don't
you bought
use
a certain amount of cough drops.
No, I do not feel taken if I get one less cough drop than I thought. No.
Well, and it also makes me a little concerned about the safety of that package. But
it doesn't.
I put a cough drop in because
doesn't.
I got a little shtickle in my throat.
No,
you know what? I drove up today.
You are not concerned. Just take that back.
Okay.
You are not concerned about your safety.
I'm irritated. I'm irritated, but I'm not irritated. Every time I'm on the road, I will stop, get my Karuba coffee from Quick Trip. And life is busy. Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're craving that fresh coffee I had, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal, Quick Trip is your go-to. Variety and quality, fast service. Quick Trip's team is all about making your day easier and better. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries and everything in between, Quick Trip's got you covered. Free air. You know, it's been warm out. Great car washes. Now they got great appetizers. They're on special. Crispy tornadoes. Packed with those bold fillings.
Everything they do is great. Everything.
I couldn't agree more, and I never agree with you on anything.
I want to know the
Trip,
most people. I was in a Quick Trip. I swear there were 50 people inside getting in line. What's the most?
They got
I know.
They got everything.
People go there to eat now on a regular basis.
They had $3 quarter pounders last night. That was fantastic. That was my dinner.
Yeah, their chicken. I tell you, the chicken is the best. The tenders, the rotisserie on Monday. They have everything you're looking for. Now they have pizzas on sale. $9.99 for traditional, $6.99 for a thin crust. Plus the Quickery white bread is only 99 cents a loaf, and apples and oranges and pears. Oh my, 3 for $1.49. You can also just grab lean ground beef, 16 ounces for $2.99. So you make dinner, you get snacks, you get it all. Last night we grabbed some of those smoothies. Kids love them. Head over to Quick Trip. Take advantage of everything they have to order ahead or curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time. Homer, I want to start the 10 o'clock hour with something I discussed yesterday. Got very heated with a couple of buddies last night about the Nizer Forkarine and college eligibility. Where we're at in the college landscape.
Yeah, I got some help. I can help you with that guy at Wisconsin, too.
Great. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. We have Rob Domofsky coming up at 10:30. We'll do that all next in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's the 2024 model closeout sale at Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie. Save $10,000 on a 24 Silverado RST Crew Cab 4x4. Save $2,000 on a 24 Chevy Trax LT, and save $12,500 on a 24 Silverado LV with 0.9% APR available. Plus, save $11,500 on a 24 Blazer EV RS. Hurry, these closeout deals won't last for long. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com for details. Offers end January 31st.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Starting up in Green Bay with the news that broke late last evening. According to Tom Pelissero, and now has been confirmed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, Green Bay Packers linebackers coach and running game coordinator Anthony Campanile has agreed to terms with the Jacksonville Jaguars to become their new defensive coordinator. I mean, hey, who can blame him? Who wouldn't want the opportunity to yell, Duval? We'll continue to break that down and talk a little Badgers coming up next on Wilde and Tausch. More like Homer and Tausch today, although we did have a nice appearance from the man himself, Jason Wilde. Moving on to the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue their Western Conference road trip this evening as they head to San Antonio to try their luck against Wemby and the Spurs. Tip-off scheduled for 7 p.m. Central. You can hear it right here with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Late Hour 2 starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Hour 2 on Wilde and Tausch. We're starting a little late because I'm going to be honest with you, Homer. I blame Jason a lot for our clock management. I'm running the show today, and we're as bad as we've ever been. So at some point, I can't blame the coach. I can't blame others. I got to look at Old T and say, maybe it's my fault. Might be me.
I'll join that club.
Listen, man, I've listened to your show for years. I learned from watching you, Dad. I learned from watching you.
Better than Grandpa. Okay, yeah, well, I'll take the blame.
All right.
I'm fine.
So, you know stuff. Like, you're a smart sports guy.
Thank you.
College, you're the voice of Marquette. You do a great job. You've won some Emmys, I believe. And I want you to help me solve
I
this
won
riddle.
one Emmy as the daily sportscaster in the Midwest for the 5 o'clock sports on Channel 12.
I think you got robbed. You did it 35 years. I think you should have got more. I think you got robbed, but I don't know any of your competition. So take that for what it's worth. Help me understand this.
Yeah.
You're a college athlete,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the opportunity to go back to a university. And with the jumping off point of this, to kind of get into why I'm bringing this up, Nizer Forkering, who had a really good season. I know Hunter Vaughn thought he stunk last year. I thought he had a really good season for the Wisconsin Badgers. He played some Division II football prior. And the eligibility for NCAA athletes now, nobody knows what the hell's going on anyways, if we're being fair. You had a COVID year. You got medical renters. You got guys playing 8-9 years. And I got into a very heated argument with a really good buddy of mine who's usually takes my side on most topics because he's a reasonable, smart sports fan, which most, I think, of our listeners are. Why should Nizer Forkering, who maybe isn't going to be a pro, I don't know, he could, but if the University of Wisconsin or Tennessee or somebody wants to give him $300,000 or $400,000 to continue playing college football, who the heck is supposed to stop him? Why would we limit? It's the only job in the world that I know of outside of term-limited politicians that you cannot, if an employer wants to hire you, you are no longer allowed to. Help me understand why I think this is crazy.
I don't know exactly what your question is. They're debating whether Division II counts as years. You used to have 4 years of eligibility.
Homer, I guess the question is, why are there eligibility requirements? If you want to say you're going to come here for 4 years, great, and then you move on. Guys that are going to be NFL players will move on. But what about the guys that aren't good enough to play in the NFL but are really good in college? Why can you not say, you know what, I can't earn $500,000 out in the real world?
Oh, you could keep playing forever?
You can keep playing until the universe is like, we got a younger guy that's cheaper. Yeah, you can keep playing.
Fine. Yes, that's professional sports. That's fine. That's AAA.
Is college football not going to be AAA baseball now? Are we not doing that? And this is the argument that Brad had. And Brad, again, very smart guy. Well, you're limiting the opportunities of these young guys. No, the young guys have to start at North Dakota or some of these smaller schools and build their way. If you're a great talent at 18 or 19.
Well, no, but the idea was you're there as a student, and you're saying you're not. You're just representing the school, correct?
You're being paid to do a profession. Did you not hear the UCLA's coach?
I did.
It was basically came out and said, you're getting paid now and you're not delivering. The days of, oh, Johnny, you just keep working and you develop and you do this, but make sure you go to school and all that. Those days are gone, man. like the 80s and 90s. It's over. This is no longer amateur. It is professional sports masquerading as amateur. I mean, really?
No, you're 100% right. The dilemma is the following. At what point will fans be disillusioned because these players are no more student athletes or athlete students than I am? They're just representative. It would be as if the Packers were now the team of UW Green Bay. Like, they don't go there, but they're representing the school. And, just like who's the kid that the lawsuit is over? The defensive back.
Xavier Lucas.
Right. So the issue has been fundamentally that they've decided, the Supreme Court did, that you have to treat an athlete the same as any student. Like, a student can go to as many schools as they want, transfer whatever they want. My understanding is that he had an agreement with Wisconsin and then wanted to go in the transfer portal, which he couldn't do, but then he just dropped out of school and enrolled at Miami. And the NCAA said, yeah, you can do that. The questioning, why do we even have the transfer portal? Now, my assumption is he can go to school at Miami. It's yet to be determined whether he can play football because he has an agreement. What?
He's out.
Well, I know he can practice. Right. If he plays, then the transfer portal becomes irrelevant anyway. You don't need it.
Here's what
I don't think he'll play, but
here's what I'd say. No, I think he will play.
All right.
I think when you look at this, the fact that you've let it get to this point where there's no governing body with any real regulatory power is a shame on everybody. I want college football to be the way it used to be. It ain't happening.
Yeah,
and until somebody steps up.
Makes too much money.
I just want to understand. I want it to be 4 years and then you go on. That is what I want. That's not where we're at. And my question to you is are you okay with a 26-year-old playing guard for Tennessee against an 18-year-old rush end? Or do you want – what do you want? What do you think – how do you think this should shake out? Because if your kid is a good player earning $500K a year on Marquette's basketball team, which, again, your basketball skills, that's why you're an announcer.
Right.
And he can't play anywhere else. He can't play in Europe. He gets this opportunity. He is a really good guard, and Shaka loves him. He's a defensive guy. He can shoot threes, whatever. Why shouldn't he be able to do that? He can't earn that money anywhere else. Marquette wants him back. Marquette's not forced to have him. Marquette thinks, I'm getting great value at $500K for Lenny True. What say you, Lenny
No,
True?
I can't say I like that, but I can't. We're all just waiting until the court case is resolved, I think in April or whatever, and then the schools are going to have to come up with $2.4 billion when they do that, and then the schools but then the schools are going to have the ability to decide what they want to do. So right now it's just now. Is it a mess? Yes. How to resolve it? I don't have any idea. It all depends on fans. They've made so much money that they've been told by the Supreme Court, you got to give the players more than you're giving them. So now, what do you do? And when do fans get upset and say, hey, these people aren't student athletes, they're representatives of the school. If you still have fans and they still like it, then literally you can do anything.
Homer, are they student athletes right now, in your opinion?
No, they're professionals.
In a sense, I still think, if I can jump in for a second, as a recent University of Wisconsin-Madison graduate, they are still, in some sense, student athletes. One of my friends tutored Jake Chaney, the linebacker. I was in class with Danny Davis my freshman year.
Okay.
Who else? Muma Jongmeta. I mean, I just went to church with Muma. But still, I feel like you have to find a happy medium.
All right, what about the last year? What's going on? No, you can't find a happy medium because if I was an athlete, I wouldn't go to class. Why would I go to class? I'm making all my money playing whatever sport. I'm going to work on getting better at that sport because that's how I'm going to make the most amount of money.
Yes, but there are some people There's some athletes that aren't going to go pro and are smart and got into the University of Wisconsin for a reason that want a career outside of sports.
Fine, they can go to class then. But you can't.
They'll go, yeah.
Fine. But then how about the ones
you don't
that
have
don't?
to mandate it.
Yeah, but what I feel like, Homer, like you said, I feel like the fans and the alumni are going to eventually stop supporting these kids if they aren't going to the school that they went to, and they're just wearing the Motion W just to wear it.
Well, that's what they got to figure out. And we're not even at that process to know until this whole situation changes, when the schools will have the ability to do what they want with the players and pay the players after this thing is resolved, probably in April, they say.
So, Riley, Nizer Forkering.
Yes.
He wants to come back. Do you let him come back?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so all right.
There are masters.
He's using the Division II issue, correct?
Yes, I think if
he is,
or junior college, they're using that too.
If they allow Diego Pavia to come back and play for Vanderbilt because he had years in JUCO and they gave him an immediate injunction, I don't see why. And the only reason was because he didn't have the same NIL opportunities in JUCO. I see no reason why they shouldn't allow Forkering to come back immediately and play for the Badgers. It wouldn't make sense.
Well, we shall find out.
But that
doesn't.
That just shows how big a mess it is. Yeah,
it's a hot mess, and until it gets figured out, there are no rules. And that's my point. You're trying to arbitrarily throw rules at people when there are no rules. And it's been proven with the portal. Where there are rules is Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars. Homer loves it. I love it. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody. It's simple to play, more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. And the big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash. Prize Picks is giving away, they say a free pick. It's not free, but it is close to it, where one of the starting quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, will only need to throw 1 yard to win your first entry in the big game. They also have, that's fun. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of up to $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play that first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. We got Rob Domofsky coming up next. He wrote a couple of different interesting articles over the last week or two. We'll also find out what his take on Campanelli is, or if the Packers are going to be in the market for a big defensive lineman, where Green Bay's at. We can't get enough Green Bay Packer action. Rob Domofsky will join us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful, energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
It's New Year, new deals at Metro Ford of Madison. With 204 new vehicles in stock, Metro Ford is your home for the best selection and the biggest savings of 2025. Enjoy the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, $15.97 per thousand borrowed. Or get the future of driving with the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 72 months. But hurry, these deals end February 3rd. Visit Metro Ford in person or online at metrofordofmadison.com and drive off in the new Ford of your dreams today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Been a fun show. Different, but fun. Very different. So, Rob Domofsky does a great job for ESPN. He joins us. He joins you. He does the pregame. Great teammate. I wonder what he would think, like with his kids playing college hoops in the Nizer Fork Arena. Rob Domofsky, first off, thanks for joining us without Jason this morning.
Who needs him?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we do. He's actually the more he misses, the more. But Rob, before we get into the Packers and Campanelli and all the other stuff,
yep.
What's your take? You have two. Your other Roan is going to be playing. Where is he playing next year?
Eau Claire.
He's going to Eau Claire to play.
Yep.
So let's say he ends up getting a scholarship to Valpo, and he is a good player, but he's not an NBA guy. He's not a Europe guy. And Valpo, after 5 years, is like, you know what, Roan? You've really come on. We want to give you $250K to be your 6th or 7th year. I want you to keep playing because you're a good, steady player. We're a good team.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't he be able to do that?
I think both of my kids would say that's ridiculous. You get 4 years of college, maybe 5 if you're lucky, and that's it.
Okay.
They're both like pretty. They're pretty realistic about like, you know, like that's not what it's for, kind of a thing. Like, I don't know, like just don't go to college anymore and just make it a feeder league or the remember the old CBA Homer? Didn't lacrosse?
Lacrosse, Oshkosh, Torchy Clark.
What was the basketball league that Isaiah Thomas, wasn't that the CBA?
That was the one he ruined. Yeah, he shut that baby down.
And then ran it to the ground. Yeah. No, I don't. I would not be for that at all. And I don't think.
And you don't think your kids would either?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think I'd be for it at even the highest level. The high.
Wait a minute,
level.
Dad. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If they're making 250 grand, you're going to be for everything. Come on.
No, he's not. That's what I just asked.
I know. I don't think he's telling the truth. It wouldn't mean it's not an education.
Money isn't everything. Money can't buy happiness, but it buys a wave runner. You ever seen anybody stand on the wave runner?
Come on. All right, so you're at that age and you're a golfer, all right? And you can make 250 grand a year. You don't care about anything. Just keep giving me what do I got to do to keep getting the 250 a year, right?
Who was the NBA player who went back to college and played golf? Was it J.R. Smith?
Somebody did do that, yes.
It was J.R. Smith.
He wasn't making 250 grand.
Yeah. He didn't need the money, but no, I like at some point you have to move on with your life.
Okay. That's fair. And you know what's ironic, Homer? You get so mad at me when I tell you what you think, and you just told Rob he doesn't believe what he just thinks. So just put that away in your memory bank.
Hold on. I gave him a chance to respond, and he said, I'm wrong.
You told him what he thought.
Right. But I gave him a chance to respond, and he said I was wrong. Fine. You never give me a chance to respond.
Okay.
Now go on. We can move on.
It's ironic. We should. All right, Rob, you on ESPN Plus put out a really good piece. Biggest offseason priority, pass rush. You got the under-the-radar offseason priority. There's a lot of interesting things there. Kind of take us through some of your thoughts on that.
Man, I wrote that so long ago, Tausch. I didn't even realize it ran. So, look, pass rush is their biggest issue, I think, and it's why they made a change at the defensive line coach, right? I mean, unfortunately, sometimes whether a position, you know this better than me, what impact position coaches have. But when a group underperforms, the position coach is going to pay the price for it. And who was the running backs coach that got fired because Eddie Lacy couldn't stay in shape, right? Was that really the running backs coach fault? No, but it was God, I can't think. It was a former Sam Gash, I believe it was Sam Gash, former NFL running back. And that doesn't mean Jason Rebrovich isn't a good coach. He just wasn't able to get the most out of these guys. And so, they're going to bring in, apparently bringing in DeMarcus Covington, although that I reported that yesterday, although that deal is not signed yet. So you never know with these coaching things, until it's signed, sealed, and delivered. And with Campanelli's move yesterday, that could shake things up as well. So, Brian Gutekunst, I think, has done a really good job in a lot of areas. I don't know that he's done a great job acquiring pass rushers.
Huh. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, you didn't think that was a good job?
I should amend that through the draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the Rashawn Gary piece of this, so you do not believe they can just run this back and hope development occurs?
I don't think so. I think that would be a big mistake.
Excuse me, they got a new position coach there. Would you elaborate on that?
I don't want to go down this road again.
You mean with the same players, right, Tausch?
Yes, I do, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
No. I mean, look, you would hope Rashawn Gary has a better year because you've seen it from Rashawn Gary before. I don't know that you can just hope Lucas Van Ness is going to get better. We haven't seen better. Kingsley Enagbare is probably a good number 4 or 5, but right now he's the number 3, right? And I don't think that's probably good enough. Brenton Cox is a good number 5 or 6, but right now he's number 4. I just don't think that's good enough to be an elite level pass rush like teams. I mean, look, Philadelphia has a strong front, and we saw that.
So, Rob, it's not going to be enough just to grab a first round pick, right? Is it going to be acquiring somebody that has proven it? Because I don't see Goody. I know everybody is talking Myles Garrett, Max Crosby. I think Hendrickson is a little bit of an older guy. That's the guy. He is a great pass rusher. He's consistently done it for Cincinnati, but that's not Goody's MO.
It's
so
not.
Where are they going to go about doing this?
Yeah, I mean, probably the draft and maybe a mid-level veteran guy. I mean, they have some money to spend. Them acquiring Preston and Zadarius, usually guys like that don't hit the market, and for whatever reason, Those guys did. And you can talk about, the reasons why, maybe with Preston it was inconsistency. Maybe it was Zadarius, he, could personality-wise and wore out his welcome. But oftentimes those guys don't hit the market. So it's not going to be easy, Tausch, but somehow, some way they've got to improve at that.
And you don't think Goody – do you agree with me? Goody is not going to go and make a big splash trade? Is that something that you think –
No, not a trade. No, I agree with you. I don't think he's trading.
Go ahead, Homer.
Well, no. So they're pretty much going to be the same team. If they get to, they're going to draft a pass rusher or see if there's a free agent that's a deal,
Who's
kind
that
of like
kid
last
from
year.
Marshall, Rob? Who's the kid from Marshall that's all over social media at the Senior Bowl that killed that right tackle? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen some tweets from the Senior Bowl about pass rushers, but I'm always leery of that because, like, as you know, Tausch, like, pass rushing in practice is totally different than pass rushing in the game.
Yes, it
right?
is.
Like, and I'm guilty of it. Like, I'm guilty of making a big deal about the one-on-one pass rush drill. But I mean, how many times, and it's something fun to talk about during training camp, but how many times do you see a guy just absolutely killing it? Just killing it in the one-on-ones and then never does anything. Mike Green, I believe, is the name of the guy from Marshall.
But Rob, the Packers are huge in the Senior Bowl and always have been historically, right?
Always have been. You look at their drafts last couple of years. I mean, the majority of the guys that they've been taking have been at the Senior Bowl. So that's a huge training ground and scouting ground for those guys. No question.
I mean, the question I asked was based on – hold on, I'll be down here in a second, Tosh.
Right.
Was based on the moves. But I'm confident in the Packers. I think you just go out and try to win the division and don't be a 7 seed. And I guess I don't see huge changes. I think Goody believes enough in the group that he has in them getting better. Am I wrong?
Well, the quote – no, you're not wrong. The quote that he said, it's time we start competing for championships, tells you he thinks he's got a pretty strong nucleus in place. Like, I mean, that if you listen to his post-game postseason press conference, like, you're right on, Homer. Like, that's exactly what he's saying. Now, it doesn't mean he doesn't think that he needs to add, guys here and there, but this was part of his plan, the building of this team to be, to return a lot of guys, and they return almost everybody. Probably the three pseudo important guys are the kicker, the center, and TJ Slayton. And you could probably live without most of those guys. I think you need the kicker.
Yeah, it feels like, and Jordan Morgan was another one of the guys you mentioned, that position, how that's going to shake out. And obviously we saw when Elton Jenkins went out, it was a complete blank show out there. Good. Does Josh Myers come back, in your opinion? What do you think is going to happen there? Because there's no doubt they're going to draft a young offensive lineman that they feel can play relatively quickly, and then hope that Jordan Morgan is healthy and can be one of those interior guys.
Well, and the other thing, too, is they did draft Jacob Monk in the 5th round last year as a pure center. Right?
They didn't even put him out there at the end of the year when they needed a center.
I know. So their history would tell you that they probably move on and they probably give Josh Myers the John Runyon treatment. However, because of what we talked about with so few must re-sign free agents, I talked to an offensive line coach in the league about Josh Myers, and he said, the one thing you can't underestimate is how comfortable Jordan Love feels with Josh Myers. Like that, you cannot. That's a thing that doesn't show up on the PFF grades and all that stuff. Is the comfort.
But does Goody care about that?
Well, and that's a good point. But if they value that, then Josh Myers becomes maybe a little bit more important than your garden variety interior offensive line.
At the right price, right? I mean, that's what that's going to come down to.
Yeah. Well, sometimes though they decide that at no price they're going to bring guys back. So
they don't even offer. Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Micah Hyde is a great example of it. Micah, who just announced his retirement. Like, there was no price for Micah Hyde. They didn't want to bring him back, which, we all know how that turned out.
So, Rob, I got, the boys at KBN got after me because I looked at the back end of this season. I liked what I saw. I thought this defense improved a lot. I like heading into next season. Yes, we all want more pass rush. No doubt they're going to look for a starting corner. But how would you assess this defense under Jeff Hafley if you're giving it the unit a grade for really the back half of this season? This defense is good enough to win, or do you think there's too many holes?
No, it's definitely good enough to win. Is it good enough to win when the offense isn't up to par? Like, they can win with it. Can they win because of it? You know what I mean? The difference there, Tausch. They can win. Yeah. Certainly they can win with this defense. I think what we have to find out is, can they win because of it on a consistent basis? I think if you're grading it, it's a B plus type of year. But I caution the idea, and it's a little bit like what Jordan Love went through at the end of last season. Like, everyone thought, wow, he finished last season on a tear. That just means that he's going to be even better in year two. Doesn't necessarily mean just because the Jeff Hafley changeover went really well that all of a sudden it's going to take another jump in year two. Like that's not a guarantee. I do think there's a solid fundamental there. There's a solid baseline, but just not an automatic that they're going to have 33 takeaways or 31 takeaways again next year. Like, that's not a given.
Yep. No doubt about it. All right, Rob, before we let you go, I got two more things for you. Jim, Matt, and Molly, great show here on ESPN Madison from 4 to 6, asked a really good question yesterday. Which member of the Packers' big three is best at their job? You only get one. Jordan Love, LaFleur, or Goody. Who would you pick in that poll?
Oof.
Yeah,
wow.
Good question.
It's really good. I'm going to do what is it? You can eliminate the 50-50 on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah. I'll eliminate Jordan Love because we haven't seen it long enough yet.
Okay.
My gut tells me I'm going to go with LaFleur because he's won fairly successfully with two different quarterbacks. So I guess I'm going to lean. Look, they hired Matt LaFleur to get Aaron Rodgers back to being an MVP caliber player. He did it. They transitioned to the next quarterback. They made the playoffs 2 years in a row. So by a close margin, I'm going to give it to LaFleur over Goody.
Wow. Very interesting. All right. And last one, since this
I pick Goody.
I'm picking Goody too, but I love the fact that Rob laid it out the way he did.
But only because Goody's been hot the last couple of years, not as a result of his entire team.
Well, and this offseason's big, what he does, free agent draft. They're all big. Sleeper. We do our Steinhoffel sleepers every Friday.
Yep.
Who is your sleeper on this roster from year one to year two will make an impact? Who would your Steinhoffel sleeper, as we sit here the end of January, who makes that big jump coaches always talk about that we'll be talking about that maybe we're not talking about much right now?
So it has to be someone who was a rookie this past season?
I'm going to give you a young player that didn't have a monster impact that will have a big impact next season.
The one I guess I'm most intrigued with, Tausch, is Marshawn Lloyd.
Hopper. Come on, go, Hopper.
Yeah,
Marshawn Lloyd. Okay.
Marshawn Lloyd. Maybe it's just because we saw the baseline so low because he did nothing. But I think he's got a real chance. Now, maybe he's going to be one of these guys that's hurt all the time and we never see it. And sometimes that happens with guys. But to me, he's got big upside. So I'm going to go with Marshawn Lloyd, even though Josh Jacobs is still going to get, the bulk of the work next year, as he should. I think Marshawn Lloyd could be I hate this term, but an X factor on offense.
No doubt about it. Rob, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your takes. Keep it up. Keep up the great work. Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll be seeing you.
You bet. And that was Rob's sleeper. I'm going to get homers after this too, but Steinhoffels always gives us their great sleepers, and Steinhoffels is celebrating the opening of its Orland Park furniture and mattress showroom with its biggest President's Day sale yet. Spend $19.99 and you get a $100 airline gift card. $29.99 you get a $200 airline gift card. $39.99 and you get a $300 airline gift card. Plus, take advantage of Steinhoffel's 18-month 0% financing. Shop in store or go online at steinhoffels.com. Homer and I both agree it's Goody. Great poll by Jim, Matt, and Molly yesterday. I want to dig into that a little bit more, and we got to get moving because, again, the clock is not our friend here on Wilde And Tausch. We'll be back in 4.5 minutes. It is Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, which you know I've loved going way back to when I was a kid participating in the legendary Book It program. And now here's a question. Do you get pizza or do you like wings? Well, at Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 dips, and it's all for just $19.99. Pizza Hut is home to the original stuffed crust pizza, topped and stuffed with over a half pound of delicious, melty cheese, and Pizza Hut's boneless wings. They are kitchen fried and not oven dried, sauced and tossed to perfection, and delivered hot directly to you. Pizza and wings or wings and pizza? The best deals have both. The unbeatable value of the stuffed crust and wings bundle is perfect to feed the whole crew on game day, family night, or any gathering. Order on the app or order online at pizzahut.com. The stuffed crust and wings bundle, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Madison athletes seeking elite training need to get started today at Total Athlete Performance. TAP is here to serve and educate the serious athlete with their speed, agility, and semi-private training options. Sessions are now available in both Windsor and their TAP facility inside the Verona Athletic Center. Also access remote training anytime, anywhere with the Total Athlete Performance app. Visit tapwisconsin.com for subscriptions, including monthly payment options. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Start your year off right with incredible new deals at Metro Kia of Madison. It's a new year, and we've got 211 brand new vehicles waiting for you. Drive home a 2025 Kia Sportage with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months, $17.48 per thousand borrowed. And don't forget, qualified buyers get 2 years, no charge maintenance, and 90 days deferred payments on new vehicles. But hurry, these new offers end February 3rd. Reserve your ride at MetroKiaMadison.com and stop in to Metro Kia today.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
Adding some interesting players through the transfer portal, mixing in, obviously, Jacksonville State. That's kind of a bump up, but I don't hate that way to recruit. I think there is a Moneyball aspect of if you have the right scouts and you can identify the right talent, this could be the new walk-on for Badger football and finding those players that can take that next step.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge, streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Dancing on the edge, about to take it too far. Messing with my head, how I mess with your heart. If you wake up in your bed, alone in the dark, I'm sorry. Gotta leave.
Back at it here from the Pickler up in Green Bay. We're excited for the grand opening tomorrow. I'll be doing a ribbon cutting. Homer, you ever do any ribbon cuttings?
No, I've never been asked to cut any ribbon in my life.
All right, awesome. We just did our Steinhoffels, and we love Steinhoffels.
I didn't know how that was awesome, but I didn't want to.
I was just trying to move the ball forward.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Right.
You're 70-some years old, whatever. Who are the players? Because for these teams, for teams to take jumps from being a playoff team to winning a Super Bowl. You get rookies in there that make big impacts, and we don't know who those rookies are going to be yet. But the Eagles are a great example. Cooper DeJean. What's their corner's name? Quintavion Walker, Quintavion Lewis.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah,
close.
Toledo guy.
Big impact young players. Rob brought up Marshawn Lloyd. I totally agree. His rookie season, basically a wash. We didn't see him. Explosive runs is going to be something that we need more of as a Packers offense. Who would we put? Because I want to get a poll in the field. Marshawn Lloyd will be in there. I think Monk. Who do we need to see take a step that did not have much of an impact as a first or second year player that we need to see take that jump? Brenton Cox? Who is it for you, Homer, that you think we need to see make a big jump?
I would say Evan Williams, but maybe he's done too much already. If not, I'm stealing this from the Scouting Bureau of Tim Van Voren, which is very good.
Okay.
Tyron Hopper. He kept saying,
Hops.
watch this guy. So I will say that he will be the one who no one has heard of that will learn about. Because people have heard of Evan Williams, I think.
Yeah, I just wonder, I don't think we could say Lucas Van Ness. He's going into his third year. I really thought we'd see a big jump this year with him. We didn't. He is going to be counted on, especially depending on what Goody does in free agency. So we'll put that in the field. We'll put Hopper. We'll put Monk. We'll put
Does Musgrave qualify?
Ooh, yes, that'd be good. He really a lost season for him, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any wideouts that we can really look. We kind of know who their guys are. It's whether or not they're going to make the jump. We'll find that out as well. And we'll put that poll in the field. We still got another segment in the 10 o'clock hour we have to hit. But before that, opening up a pickleball place, watching the Senior Bowl, whatever you're doing this weekend, you know what makes it chill? Grab yourself a Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold package, and it is cold filtered, so it is made to chill, and it is getting warm out, 40, 50 degrees. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Homer, I want to hit on, you're putting some stuff out there on Giannis that Bucks fans don't like. I don't know who your sources are.
My sources are me.
Well, okay, hopefully it's more than that, but
no, it's me.
I want to hear your thought. Okay, well then maybe we don't need to go down that road, but I do want to hear more about your thought process on why you think Bucks fans should enjoy this season, because you think some stuff's coming on the horizon.
No, it's 50-50. This is his last year.
Homer, I'm trying to tease out.
That's how I
this
tease.
Business?
I don't tease like that. I tease with the story.
I do.
Because
you didn't want to run. Hey, you didn't want to run the show.
I turned the mic off. I'm turning the mic off. You're right. I'm turning the mic off.
Next.
Wilde and Tausch.
You're listening to Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball.
Lillard, three-pointer for the lead. It's Dame time.
Madison's home of Dame Time is 100.5 ESPN. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Test Rest, a Beauty Rest black mattress for your chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at just $3.99 only at Steinhoffels. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys. And I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. It's fun to watch the games, and when you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you that every Friday is a Feelgood Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints. Well, it could be this weekend, it could be this summer, it could be after next football season, but when the time comes for you to get started on your next paint project, the best place to start is at Home and Lindsay Paints. And just like me, trust Wisconsin's best painters, the pro painters at Home and Lindsay, to get the job done right. To get connected with the pro that's best suited for what your project calls for, stop into any Madison area Home and Lindsay location and ask. The team at Home and Lindsay can take it from there. What makes Home and Lindsay Wisconsin's best paint? Well, as has been proven with the weather over the last few weeks, it's the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. Home and Lindsay, great paint, great people. And stick around for Feelgood Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Home and Lindsay Paints.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is where you can find the area's best high school basketball games all season long. Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Catch star recruits, rivalries, and state championship contenders every Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
If his accuracy doesn't improve, if his consistency doesn't improve, and if Matt LaFleur doesn't figure out a way to get the play-action game going again, then it's going to be a struggle in the coming years.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. To let it get away.
It is a beautiful day. I'm up in Green Bay at gonna be the new Pickler indoor pickleball facility. Could not be more excited. Homer,
how many courts do they have?
7. There'll be 7 courts. All laid out. We got a little bit of cleaning up to do here before tomorrow's grand opening at 11. Going to play a bunch of pickleball tomorrow afternoon. Have you gotten into pickleball yet, or are you still hanging on to tennis?
No, I've played a little pickleball, but I don't play that much. I probably should play more. It's a great game. I hope they take a lot of the tennis courts in Milwaukee and turn them into pickleball courts.
They will.
And it would be a great way to get young kids to possibly consider playing tennis. Because everybody can play pickleball, and you could start it in first grade, second grade. It's a great game.
And it's as you're seeing more and more in gym classes. There's younger players. It's on TV. I've said this for, I think, 10 years, definitely since this show started. I've been playing for about a decade. It's going to continue to grow, and it will be an Olympic sport in the near future. Olympians, speaking of Olympians, Giannis. Homer, I know some people on Twitter are saying, are you two okay? This is what we do. I love you, Steve the Homer True. You're a hilarious young man. You have crazy thoughts. Sometimes I couldn't disagree more. You are an absolutist, which drives me nuts when you're 100% and zero. But with all that said, you are standing on the table talking about Giannis, and anytime Giannis's name comes up, I'm intrigued. Give us your take on Giannis.
People need to realize that the stories that come out, ESPN has had some of them, have to be considered accurate. There is a legitimate, I say 50-50, as to what Giannis. Now, please understand, Giannis determines everything. That he has doesn't matter. Giannis decides everything over the owners, the coach, the GM. And if after this year the Bucks decide, and their players are old, to move on or take another approach, Giannis can easily say, I'm not interested. I want to go somewhere else, and they will trade him somewhere else. So if there's an attempt to regroup or Giannis isn't happy with what's left with the team or doesn't think they have a good enough chance, all of which are very possible, then he's gone after this year. And the reason I mention it is because it's legitimate, and if you love Giannis, you should go to as many games as you can. Not that he's guaranteed leaving, but it's 50-50, given all the factors, how good the team is, how good it will be next year, how would they decide to rebuild. And that bothers some people, and I'm just trying to help, and that the people that get mad, so be it. But everybody needs to understand that there is a flip of the coin possibility that he's gone after this year because he wants to move on.
What triggered you to make this statement, and what makes you think that is? Because 50-50 coin toss, nobody wants coin tosses when you're talking about a franchise guy like Giannis. Why are you talking about this right now?
Well, because the reality of where the team is and what they have to decide after this year is a given.
Giannis got 4 years left on his deal.
Again, please, rule one.
Dame's
rule
got 4
one,
years left.
contract means nothing.
I understand. But you think this team is going to have to break up completely and he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. Is that part of what you're thinking?
Correct. Or the degree and how they rebuild. Maybe they try to keep Giannis and maybe Lillard stays and then they try to add one more player. Rule one, the contract means nothing.
Okay, I'll
the day
join
one,
that
Giannis.
club.
So now Giannis has to decide. Does he want to be with the team, given the team next year? And that's to be determined. But that is the situation, and that's all that matters. Giannis could easily say, well, I'm definitely coming back next year. I'm not sure that would be true because he doesn't know what the team is going to be. They're old. They have old players. They're going to move on. What are they going to do? Who are they going to add
this year? Can they win a championship?
No.
Well, then what's going to change?
Well, the question isn't, I don't think they can, but Giannis might. The question is, Giannis happy with the team? Does he think the team is good enough that he wants to stick around? I think he believes, and the issue really now, this year is all about Middleton and how healthy he is. But I would think Giannis is willing to give it a shot. The biggest issue for the Bucks this year, and it's the same every year, is Giannis has to be healthy. Giannis hasn't been healthy in the playoffs the last 2 years, and they can't win unless he's healthy. He has to be healthy. Damian Lillard has to be healthy. So that's the most important thing. But it's all about how happy Giannis is with the team next year versus what other options are out there. And every team is out there because Giannis is in charge.
So if you were a betting man, and I know you are, is Giannis on this Bucks team October of next year?
Right. I've said on Twitter that I bet $100 with somebody, and I say he's coming back.
Okay.
Part of that is because I want him to come back. I like everything about Giannis. But I understand that it's that close, and I won't bet anymore. I've bet 100. If I really believed it, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that he's coming back, and I can't because the dynamic is such that he's in charge, and I don't know how he's going to feel at the end of this year based on what they've done, which may be not much, or what they decide to do for next year.
Very depressing. But it is, I mean, you have to figure out the next window. Can you win a championship? Because if you have Giannis, you always feel like you got a shot. But
yes.
Giannis has to feel that same way.
Right.
And so I get what you're saying, but I think most Bucks fans feel like when he signed that extension that he was going to be here another 4 or 5 years. And I think your point is very fair. NBA superstars live by their own rules. They say they want to go, they're going to go. And you're seeing that with Jimmy Butler. You're seeing it with others. And Giannis is obviously a level above those guys. So we shall see. I hope Homer is wrong. I hope it's not a coin flip. I hope Giannis finishes his
I just
career
hope
here.
people go to more games.
Well, people are still going to Bucks games.
They need. What if Giannis? What I'm telling you is, what if Giannis said, "This is my last year"? Would you go to more games? That's the number of games you need to be going to this year. As
you
if
want a
Giannis
sense of
said,
urgency from Bucks fans is what you're
yes,
asking
I'm
for.
trying to help them.
Okay. Well, you're a helper. That's one of the things you do. After the break here, I want to ask Homer, because Cam Newton said some very interesting things on First Take yesterday about whether he'd rather be the MVP Cam Newton or Super Bowl champion, which he never was able to get. And I want to get Homer's take on that. We will do that in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's new year, new deals at Metro Ford of Madison. With 204 new vehicles in stock, Metro Ford is your home for the best selection and the biggest savings of 2025. Enjoy the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, $15.97 per thousand borrowed. Or get the future of driving with the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 72 months. But hurry, these deals end February 3rd. Visit Metro Ford in person or online at metrofordofmadison.com and drive off in the new Ford of your dreams today.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. All season long, catch the best area high school basketball games every Tuesday night on 100.5 ESPN and live video streaming free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Some Saturday night showcase hoops tomorrow. Arrowhead at Middleton. Should be fun tuning for that. But up in Green Bay, the big news of the day, Green Bay Packers linebackers coach and running game coordinator Anthony Campanile has agreed to terms with the Jacksonville Jaguars to become their new defensive coordinator.
Duval.
Who can blame him for wanting to yell Duval? We've already broken down what that means. We'll get to some more Packers discussion coming up next on Wilde and Tausch. Moving on to the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue their Western Conference road trip this evening as they head to San Antonio to try their luck against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Tip-off scheduled for 7 p.m. Central. You can hear it right here with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Third and final hour of Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
O'clock hour here on Wilde and Tausch. It's been fun bantering back and forth with my old buddy Home Slice. Homer, I know you're used to only doing an hour. You get coffee, you get a protein bar. A little bit more of a grind here doing 3 hours.
It is tough. I have a great deal more respect than I use. I realize this is tough. I got a little hot chocolate. We get free hot chocolate here. So
you
I got
get free hot chocolate? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was a hot chocolate guy for many years before everybody's gone to coffee, which actually is now just hot chocolate with a coffee flavor.
Well, that's not necessarily true. You can
the
do
majority of coffee sold today is all sweet coffee.
Do you have research on that, or is it just you guessing?
I do. Yeah, no, it's not.
Are you?
It's not even.
Are you a
Nobody
a coffee
drinks black
guy?
coffee. I have started drinking black coffee. My wife likes to go have coffee, and I have only black coffee.
Nobody drinks black coffee. What the heck are you talking about? A lot of people do.
One of my roommates drinks black coffee.
Yeah, Riley does.
No,
Riley's
I don't.
roommate does.
2%, 3%. Go into a Starbucks. Go ask them. At Dunkin' Donuts, you probably have a chance of that being the case because that is a very good
You know what
coffee.
irritates me? Why don't these places, and I'm not going to give any free advertising. I go to Quick Trip and get Karuba. But why at these fancy coffee joints that you just mentioned, they have all the frappuccinos and the fresheners and all that stuff, right? Why don't they just put a pot of black coffee on the side? You go give $2 for the cup. You go grab it, and you don't have a barista back there pouring it. Can we not do that? Is that difficult?
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
asking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't have anything to add to that? You're just
No,
gonna say,
not really. I mean, my premise is all that
Fair
nobody
enough.
drinks coffee. People drink sweet drinks that have a mocha flavor.
There's a lot
The
of mocha.
greatest, of course, was the mocha frappe from McDonald's, which is
Throw
the
chocolate
greatest.
chips in there. Yeah.
Yeah, the greatest non-alcoholic drink ever made.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. I'll have to.
It is, and I understand.
research
I'm not going to have agreement. I get that, but that's
okay.
I think it should be
Outstanding.
in the running.
Okay, so speaking of agreement, do you agree? Cam Newton on First Take when basically made the statement. Stephen A. Smith asked him point blank. He was an MVP. He was a national champion. He was a trendsetter, a star. Would you give all that up for one Super Bowl? And Cam honestly said no. As a team guy, I heard that and I thought, what are you talking about? What did you think when Cam Newton made that statement?
I thought, one, it doesn't surprise me. He seems to be the kind of person who would say that. And I think partly because he believes that people did not appreciate how good he was. And so to win an MVP to him is basically telling the world, see, you were all wrong. I told you I was great. You didn't believe I was great because of whatever his shortcomings were, and now I've proven it. And as far as being a team player, because it does come off as selfish, the determining factor of that is what his teammates would say privately. I do think this, and I've softened a little bit, to be an MVP makes you part of a much, 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 much smaller elite group than winning a Super Bowl.
For sure.
But you would know this from teammates. If he's a team guy, then people are fine with it because as a player, as a quarterback, what can I do more for my team than be the best player in the league? What more do you want me to do? Not winning the Super Bowl is an indication of the rest of my team not being as good as me. Fact. Now, the concern is, as a quarterback, wouldn't you want to win the Super Bowl because of the happiness you would create for all your teammates and knowing your importance? So that's the dilemma. But whether he's a team guy or an individual guy, only his teammates know, and only they will say it privately, not publicly. But I understand someone saying, what can I do? We didn't win the Super Bowl. It wasn't my fault. All I can do is be the best player in the league, and then the rest of my team's got to take care of business. That is true, and he's part of a very, very elite group, which is much more, or not more special. Is that the word? More special? Special? Yeah, I think it's more special.
Specialer.
It doesn't
Yeah,
sound right.
more
Specialer doesn't sound right. Then winning a Super Bowl. How many people have been MVP? Not many.
I would think there's been a lot of NFL seasons. I understand where Cam's coming. And first off, I love the fact that he's honest. Most guys would lie and tell you that this is the case. From a player standpoint, being a part of a championship team, most of us have no aspirations because we can't become MVP. You could be all pro. I think most guys look at the Hall of Fame as kind of from an individual legacy standpoint, that is very important to players. But everybody wants a Super Bowl championship. The fact that Cam came out and said that, I bet if you ask Peyton Manning, and I know Aaron Rodgers has said this, he'd give up MVPs to win another Super Bowl. That's all true, but you can only control what you can control. And why it's so difficult to win a championship is because it can't just be you. MVP can't just be you, but it certainly skews that way. And I think that's what Cam's point was. I disagree with him, but I've never been in that position to make that same claim. So it's hard for me to push back much on what Cam had to say on that yesterday.
And I really think a part of it is that proved to all the people who didn't believe in him and whatever his weaknesses were as a quarterback, how great he was. And I
no
think
doubt
that's
about
why
it.
it's special to him.
I'm telling you, what he did at Auburn to beat all those SEC teams, it probably is the greatest college football season from one player. He would be in the Mount Rushmore of greatest college football players we've ever seen. And if you don't believe me, ask Nick Saban. He'd tell you as well. All right, I'm getting ready to do a little ribbon cutting. We have another segment. We're going to hit Whoa Riley next. We're going to do that here on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Toscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Well, the teams competing in the big championship game in New Orleans were great at recognizing when to make the right changes for the success.
We're excited, and thanks for kind of coming along for a little pickleball tour of the new facility that we're excited about. It is the Pickler. Tomorrow, grand opening, founding membership still available.
Save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Welcome back in to Wilde And Tausch. Give you a little tour on the digital only. There's probably a little bit of microphone issues. Homer, I'm terrible with tech, man. I am not the most tech savvy, but it did give you a look. Riley said, it's bigger than I thought. We have the great folks from the Green Bay and Ashwaubenon Chambers of Commerce up here. So we're excited up here at the Pickler. I'm also excited for a little, whoa, Riley.
The guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde And Tausch.
Alrighty, guys. So, while Jason's gone, I have a shadow ban on talking UFC on this show. So, Homer, I just want to ask you, do you watch the UFC at all? Are you a fan whatsoever of mixed martial arts?
No, I do not watch it, but I don't have any problem with it. I'm a boxing guy, and boxing's kind of done. But it doesn't mean that I have anything wrong with it. I didn't grow up with it.
Did you watch the Tyson fight?
I did actually. People were watching it on the plane as Marquette was going from somewhere. And they had real difficulty getting it, and they were all mocking it as being
issues,
terrible. Yeah, streaming issues, but they didn't.
So, Homer, will you be tuning into the Jake Paul versus Logan Paul boxing match coming up?
No. But, I mean, that's on me. I don't think that, it's not like, hey, the world's gone crazy. I understand it. I think it's maybe they've created a sport that people like because it's quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Takes less time.
All right. Fair enough.
You know what? I am a big Dana fan. I think what he's done with that business and the opportunities, those that are fighting, and it is real. And the business, I'm always fascinated by how people build businesses. They went from nothing to one of the biggest sporting leagues in our country. They're everywhere. They are all over the world.
And he created a new sport.
A ton of credit.
There was nothing like it.
Slapping deal.
Yeah.
I thought they do a slapping deal too.
Yeah,
Homer, that'd be fun
fighting
for us. Next time we're in the same spot. That slapping deal.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
What do you think I am, crazy?
All right, you don't have
Fine.
to.
No, I'm not.
No, I think
you
we
get
should
to a certain age, you'll get there where you go like, no, I don't have to. No, I'm not doing that.
Trust me. Oh, trust me, I'm there. I get what you're saying.
That's true.
I think we should
Hall
do a
of Famers have a
bracket
different
style,
rule.
tournament style. Tausch versus Bulaga, Jason versus Homer. Slap fighting, and then winners
Bulaga's going to beat me in that, I think. But now if we play pickleball and maybe not even tennis, golf, he's beating me. But, yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities to do things.
Who's winning at
Whoa, Riley.
Whoa, Nelly.
Who's winning at pickleball between Tausch and Homer? If Homer's coming from a tennis background.
Homer beat
would
me
win
in
now.
tennis. Homer beat me in tennis in a while. I would think in pickleball I'd beat him. Yeah.
He would. You would.
I would think so.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the topic I actually had planned. So there's a movie coming out today. It's in theaters today, based on a true story about a guy who bets his entire farm on the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl. So I want to ask you guys,
what year did he bet it? Hopefully 2010. And
that's the one with Craig Nelson, right?
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
I believe
he'd be out of a farm.
I believe it was set in 96, and I'm assuming it has a happy ending.
that worked out well. That worked out well.
They win Super Bowl 35.
Is it true or is it made up?
Supposedly it's based on a true story. I was listening on a country radio station today, and they were talking about it. So that's where the impetus for this question came up. So how much would you guys bet on the Packers winning the Super Bowl this coming year?
What are the odds? If it's straight up, I can't.
Just straight up, you
no,
got
it's like 1,200. I think if you bet 100, you win 1,200. It's something like that.
Yeah, I think you should get somewhere between 15 to 20 to 1. I mean, the Packers were the 7th best team in the NFC this year. The AFC is stronger than the NFC. I have to see where Green Bay fits the right. There were years that you felt really good. Huge offseason in order for really good.
I'm not hearing him very well.
Yeah,
Is that just me?
You're coming in like a transformer, which it sucks. At least it took 2.5 hours to get to this point, but hopefully that doesn't continue. Follow up to that, what would it take, Homer, you start, for you to bet your house on the Packers winning the Super Bowl?
I just wouldn't do it.
Just never? What if your livelihood depended
if the
on
game's over and I know the outcome, then I would do it. No, it's too hard. I mean, the guy, I do the thing with Fat Jack. He mentioned like Notre Dame fans won 11 games in a row up until the national championship game where their team covered. And I mean, there's that stretch where you can get hot, but gambling is so hard that I just. I think the year that the Packers won it in '96 with Favre, they were the best offense and best defense. That's where one you would do it. But even then, they might have won the Super Bowl and not covered, and then
Tausch
hard.
Yeah, I agree. Tausch, is there any situation where you would bet your house on the Packers winning a Super Bowl?
No, that's idiotic. You do that in the beginning of seasons when you think you're getting value on a team has an opportunity to do it. To bet your house or your farm, kudos to Craig T. Nelson for betting his farm. Sounds like, what do you win when you bet your farm? You get somebody else's farm?
Yeah, I think at 15-1, I might bet $100 on the Packers. I have enough.
15-1's 15-1 is the basement of where it would start for me. 10-1, I need more with this team right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Whoa, Nelly!
Last question I have for you. This is geared towards you, Homer. So tomorrow is National Marquette Day.
Yes.
Could you explain first, what is that?
I don't know. I don't really know. I didn't go to Marquette, but I can tell you this. With Shaka Smart as the coach, every day is National Marquette Day. The energy and joy that Marquette people have with him as coach is greater than it's ever been since Al McGuire. And so every day is National Marquette Day now with him as coach. And I'm not the athletic director Mike Broker is, but I said before I would give him a lifetime contract. He can coach Marquette as long as he wants. When he wants to leave, then leave. My point is, it doesn't matter how much money you give him. His competitiveness is so great that it wouldn't change him at all. And that's the part of him that he hides a little bit. People just don't know how insanely competitive he is because there's so many other parts about him that people like. So, and even though I am Marquette, people should know Wisconsin's getting better. Those big guys are playing good. Wisconsin is they're the real deal now.
Tausch, any comment?
Does every school have that? It's like they're in National Wisconsin Day?
I don't believe so.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like this just further solidifies that everyone at Marquette, save Homer, we'll toss Homer out of this because he's not a grad, not an alumnus, that they all live in this little Marquette bubble, and it's just all elitism, and it's ridiculous.
Elitism?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh, come on.
Public institutions.
Like the Badgers don't have
who
it?
announced it?
You know where the Badger
anointed it
elitism
Marquette
is?
Day
And I
tomorrow?
went there. Wisconsin elitism is they drink better than any other students in the country. They are so incredible.
True.
All right, and here's the issue, National Marquette Day. I don't know this, but I think they don't have football, so they didn't have homecoming, and I think they kind of started a homecoming and now a National Marquette Day. So it's an attempt to create something,
makes me
I believe, when not having football.
That kind of makes you sad, doesn't it? That
What?
makes you feel kind of sad?
Sad about what?
You don't have homecoming, so you invent a day?
Yes.
A
Hey, you
national
like
day?
what do
That
you mean?
seems sad
You
to
like
me.
MMA? You
makes me-
appreciated that guy invent something. Now Marquette invents
Yeah.
it. And you know what? Other schools are going to
Well,
copy
I
it if
don't
they
mind
haven't
that
already.
they're doing it, but I just asked you how it happened, and you said
Oh, then I
they
could be
felt bad
wrong.
they
I
didn't
don't
have
know.
homecoming, so they
No,
made-
I don't. Don't
What do you
give
mean?
any
You're Mr.
credibility.
Marquette.
I do. Yes, I am Mr. Marquette for men's basketball.
You should put a disclaimer on everything you say. Don't give me any credibility.
No one knows Marquette basketball better than me, and that's the job I have. I don't work for the university in other capacity. So you want to know something about men's basketball? Fine. You want to ask me something about the engineering school? I don't know that either.
Greatest three-point shooter in Marquette history is?
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Who is
Steve
it?
Novak. Steve
Anthony
Novak.
Pieper? Oh,
What?
So
Steve Novak.
Anthony Pieper.
So Steve Novak, Jim McElvain tells me the story. It's Seattle when you're in the draft. They have you come in and do a shooting thing. You start at the free throw line. You have to make one of three. If you make one of three, you take 2 steps back. Steve Novak was shooting in the back court behind the half-court line in which they said, you can stop. Not even close.
It's pretty good.
It's legit.
Pretty good. That will do it for Roe. That's a hard one to say. Roe Riley. Whoa, Riley.
There you go.
Because you got to
trivia
bail.
Next.
You're leaving.
I am bailing. I'm going to go cut a ribbon or I'm going to do something. I'm not 100% sure what I'm all doing. I'm up here at the Pickler. We have our grand opening tomorrow. We are going to do trivia. 844.
Oh, I have a question for you about pickleball.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, is there a best pickleball? Some are harder than the others. Where is that at now? And I'm dealing with this because our family people play pickleball. Is there one that's better, or are they all the same? Or am I just making this up?
What do you mean? Like the racket or the ball?
No, the ball. They say the balls, some of them are harder and they're better. Are all the balls the same, or is there a difference?
There's indoor and outdoor, and obviously indoor is a bigger hole, whereas outdoor you have smaller because you want to get less wind. But everybody, it's more about the color of the ball. To me, that's what's important to me.
Aren't they all the yellow like a golf ball?
There's yellow. I actually play with a lot of orange pickleballs because you pick it up easier. You pick it up easier. That's the beautiful part about the pickler.
Oh, you see it easier.
The walls are all black. You could play the indoor here at our facility up here in Green Bay. Not going to matter what color of the ball because it's all blacked out and you're going to have no glare. It's going to be beautiful. Again, that is tomorrow. Today, we are going to do trivia. And Riley, remember to pick the winner after you get the caller 5.
Oh, shoot, you're right. Yep.
844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 5 for Wilde and Tausch trivia. And Riley, what is the category today?
The category is Steve the Homer True Trivia.
Oh, I might call in and be the guest because there aren't many people that know Steve the Homer True better than
You don't know anything about me. You know
I will
nothing
find out.
about me.
I will play offline as we're getting ready for the ribbon cutting. Again, caller 5, 844-770-3776. Homer, thank you very much for forcing me into the driver's chair again. I enjoy it always doing the show with you. And for everybody that thinks we're contentious, that's just what we do.
We are.
Caller 5.
I don't like him. I don't like Mark Tauscher. Actually, that's what people want me to say that. It's not true, but I used to say that about Mark Belling, and they go, you guys are okay? I mean, he's weird. And then they were disappointed. And then I started saying, I hate him. He's the biggest jerk in the history of the world. And then people go, yes, I knew it. Yes, I don't like Mark Tauscher.
All right, you run with whatever you want to. I like Steve the Homer True, and I appreciate him, Riley. Thank you, guys. Finish the show off strong. We will see you on Monday, but this show's still rolling. Again, caller 5.
Do you know how hard it is to do a show with Mark Tauscher? Do you realize how hard it is?
I do, actually.
Next.
I do.
We're on the Packers.
The lesson to be learned is you can't be a 7th seed.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They got to be better, and if they're not, then next year will be a disappointment.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN. This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. A large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 dips, and all for just $19.99. Pizza Hut is home to the original stuffed crust pizza, topped and stuffed with over a half pound of delicious, melty cheese. And Pizza Hut's boneless wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and delivered hot directly to you. Order on the app or order online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues. Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s is Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
We're on the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They were good. They were not good enough.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
This is Wilde and Tausch. No one's left. Wilde left. Tauscher left. And we have Nate, the wedding DJ. Is that right?
That'd be Mike, the wedding DJ.
Oh, Mike. I can't even read my own writing. Cursive is dead. Hold on. All right, so this is trivia. Do I have to know the questions, or do you have the questions?
I have the questions
right,
if you'd like me to ask them.
Yeah, you can ask them. I think I know the correct answer, but we'll find out. By the way, I want this to be on the record and written, and so that people... I can argue, but I don't dislike Tauscher. In fact, I do embarrass him because I have told this on the radio, and other people have said to him that if I could have lived someone else's life, I would have wanted to have lived Mark Tauscher's life. Like you make it. No, I like everything about who he is, what he's done. I thought I wish I could have been Mark Tauscher, and somebody said that to him, and he's like, "Ah, Homer's crazy." Like Tausch doesn't. I don't know that I would. Someone said to me, somebody told me that they wish they would have your life. I go, okay. But Mark Tauscher is the list of four people who I've met in my life that I wish I'd had their life. Mark Tauscher is one. Kevin Harlan, the announcer, is the other. Shaka Smart, a third. And then my older brother, Mike True, who was just better than me in every way. And so those are the four. Tauscher is not the only one. But yes, I wish and have told people, and now saying it on the radio so you know that I don't dislike him. He is a pain to work with. But that's because he changes his mind. I mean, I don't know how he...
Hey, those are some good choices for other lives.
No, everybody else should have their... I think they should, to be honest, but I'm not upset with my life at all. But, man, being Mark Tauscher, Kevin Harlan, he's so good. Shaka Smart, my older brother Mike too. Wow! Oh, baby! Maybe that would have been good. All right, let's go to Mike.
All righty. Mike, you there?
I'm here.
Fantastic. Let's get it rolling with question 1. Which of these is not a show hosted by Steve the Homer True? My Faith with Homer and Pip, The Homer Hour, or Little Brother, a Marquette basketball podcast?
C.
Hey, great work.
Well, don't
Mike.
I get to say whether it's correct or not?
Do you have the list? I thought you didn't have the questions.
No, I have the questions. I just don't. I was going to have you read them.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I have the questions.
Okay, I'll let you
yes,
see if they're
that is correct. That is correct. The one they left out was Night Night with Uncle Homie, one of my favorite shows that was on when I was at the very end after I was about done at ISN. They moved me after Sean Hannity, and I had Night Night with Uncle Homie. It was like 8 to 9:30, something like that. But anyway, correct answer.
I
Mike,
loved
you
you
got
on the
one for
World's
one.
Greatest Sports Show.
Yes. I wanted this show to be the world's shortest sports talk show, the one I do 5 to 6, but they didn't approve that.
Disappointing. Question 2. Homer's dad was a professor at which prestigious American university?
Notre Dame.
Hey.
Notre Dame.
Man, you know your stuff. Yes, he taught Paul Hornung in class in the 50s. Also had LaFonso Ellis, who refused to believe that he was my father. I had to call my dad so he could talk to him. Paul Hornung, I saw the grade book, DCDCCF, and I said to Paul Hornung, you had my dad as a professor at Notre Dame. He said, I was on the dean's list as a senior, to which I said, Paul, you didn't have my dad when you were a senior. But I didn't give out the specific. All right, next question. My dad is famous, and when your parent is famous at some age, you'd realize you're just never going to be as big a deal as he was, so... That's all right.
I feel like there are some people out there who debate that, but anyways, question number 3.
Not even close.
Teach their own. According
be like comparing Jim Gantner to Robin Yount. Like Jim Gantner was good, right? Ain't no Robin Yount.
Okay. I'm just going to accept it as humility.
You can look it up. No,
okay.
You can look it up.
According to his Facebook page, what did Homer study at both the University of Arizona and the University of Wisconsin-Madison? Is it A, journalism, B, basketball, or C, tennis?
Well, I'm going to assume it's tennis since he played tennis. So,
all right, now that you're very good. That is correct, but it's incorrect. I actually majored in accounting. All right. However, it is accurate that's what on. What did you go Wikipedia?
I just went to your Facebook page, and that's what it's listed.
It does say that on the Facebook page, and I've been too lazy to change it. But I actually did major in accounting. But tennis was why I went to both of those schools. Yes.
Did you ever work for one of the big four? I have some roommates in accounting right now.
I never spent one day as an accountant. I had health issues, and I had to stop teaching tennis. I was a finalist for the job at the University of Indiana. And so then I decided I would go into radio, never having done anything. And a friend of my father came in a big accountant deal in South Bend, said, I'll hire you today. And I go, I don't want to be an accountant. I'm going to go into radio. He goes, you've never done radio, and you have a college degree in accounting. And I go, yeah. He goes, when you get your head squared, call me and I'll hire you. I have no idea what you're thinking now. That was 1980, and I've been doing it ever since. So.
Wow.
It was stupid.
You made the right choice, Homer. You're great.
All right. Well, thank you. And you know me well better than I would think anybody would. So, and yeah, you can. I think I still have a Wikipedia page, though someone said they had difficulty finding it.
Yeah, you have it's like MU Wikipedia. It's like Marquette-specific Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to. I had a Wikipedia page because there was something on it that was not accurate. I tried to change it, and they wouldn't let me. Because in order to change even your own Wikipedia page, you have to have a reference. Like usually it has to be written. Like I had to give him, I could give him my bio for Good Karma or whatever, and it was there. But you can't just say, "Hey, this is what I actually." I can't remember what it was, but anyway. So thanks, nicely done. Yeah, I can't. I have no defense for the decisions I've made. Someone interviewed me when I first came to Milwaukee in like 1990, and he went through this stuff, and he stops and he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I go, "Sure." He goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He was like, "None of this makes any sense. This is a list of stupid things." I say, "Well, I don't know. Made sense to me at the time." So
clearly, it's worked out very well.
I don't know. Maybe I would have been more successful, richer as an accountant. I never actually wanted to be an accountant. I was a computer science major for one semester. It was just too hard. And so I said, I'm going to go into business. It seems to me the smartest people in business are in accounting, so I'll do accounting. But other than my own taxes for a while, I've never done anything. 1-800-99, is that the number we have? What's our number so people can call it? Because we have, like, how many minutes left?
Yeah, we got to go to break here quick, and then we're only going to have, like, 2 minutes.
Oh,
afterwards.
We're short behind a break.
Yep.
No problem. Sounds good. And, yes, you can look up my dad, Dr. Herb True, one of the most famous motivational speakers in the history of this country, which he left to Notre Dame to do that. And, yeah, I'm not even in this league. All right, the Feelgood Friday. I can handle that next.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the San Antonio Spurs.
Back to Giannis, and Giannis is hanging on the rim again.
Tonight on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys. And I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. When you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com. Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott and Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. The holiday season may be over, but that means Valentine's Day is approaching. It doesn't matter the occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, or if you're in the doghouse, or if you want to stay out of it, I recommend Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and in Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison. The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is where you can find the area's best high school basketball games all season long. Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Catch star recruits, rivalries, and state championship contenders every Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Is your computer so slow you can hardly use it? Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes? Sound familiar? Computers will have problems, and when they do, you need the computer experts at Madison Computer Works. Every day we help home users and businesses keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros at 231-8000, and we'll turn this into this. Madison Computer Works. Computers that work for you.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia.
And I'm not a Super Bowl party guy. I want to watch the game. So,
okay, I like that.
Because I've been to those parties. You don't watch the game. Everybody's wearing you out, and your head's on the swivel. You're doing everything but watching the game. I like to watch the game.
The Great Dane Huddle, driven by Janesville Kia. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feelgood Friday on Wilde And Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in darker, walk around the neighborhood.
Wilde and Tausch, they're both gone. They're both on assignment. I'm Homer filling in because no one else would do it. So I have a minute and a half. Do we have an intro for this Feel Good Friday?
Nope, this is just it. Go for
it. All right,
it.
so everybody talks about nice things and all these different charities and stuff. And I like Teen Challenge, the Grand Avenue Club, Life Navigators. I'm probably forgetting others that I should. But I want to use this time because I'm not even an auctioneer. I don't do auctions because I incredibly see the generosity of people that are so nice. All these organizations exist because people are just kind and they give money. They don't have to. And in fact, now there aren't even that many auctions. I stand up and go, just give money. I need 10 grand. I need 20 grand. And people still do it. So in honoring all those people who make all these organizations exist just because out of their kindness, like they don't have to do it. They just show up and they give money and they're generous to this group and how many hundreds or thousands of groups exist just because of the incredible generosity. Ted Kellner, Peter Helf, Pat Lawton, John Saganiak, Mike Lauer. By the way, Lauer and I hold the greatest record ever because you pay to play golf with Homer at Blue Mountain Country Club. I, of course, am not a member there. I shop at Aldi. Nobody goes to Blue Mountain, but shops at Aldi. Anyway, so there's always an event, play golf with Homer at Blue Mound. Mike Lauer is a member at Blue Mound. I would guess that $40,000 has been raised to play golf with Homer at Blue Mound. Mike Lauer always wins it. You know why he wins it? So Homer never gets to play. I have never played at Blue Mound as part of this because he wins it every time. He's that generous. And I'm proud to say that it is the strangest auction item ever. And those people are generous. And everybody in the country, I tell them at auction, just smile. You change people's lives you'll never meet. And they would hug you and cry and love to thank you for being so generous. I'm done. Next.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch?